So she has to staple his eyelids open to unlock the phone. But like when she's doing that, blood is literally dripping down his face.
Yeah.
So they have to pour
This is so
beer
graphic.
over his eye
Yeah.
to rinse the blood off so she can get the face idea. So both eyes, blood and beer everywhere. Anyways,
Yeah.
she unlocks the phone. It works.
Fionn asks Rose why she keeps doing this if she can't like stomach the gore part of it. And she's like not good at this, which we have seen now.
No,
like she's
'cause
not
every
good at
time
this. Yeah, it's like
she
by the skin of her
vomits.
teeth. Yeah, but also like she also
can't.
barely gets away with this too. Like
Oh, yeah.
not good at the cleanup, not good at the planning, the execution, literally all of
The
it.
question was, do you shut the
Yeah,
door?
she was like-
I didn't mean to
There's
open
no
Pandora's
definitive
box of
answer.
options.
She was like, well, what about my toothbrush? And me and Steven are both like, what about your toothbrush? Why?
What? I keep my
It's an
toothbrush on the
important
floor.
question.
I mean, what about it?
I was not prepared for the follow-up
All right.
on the question.
So which food was ruined for you because of this series?
None. I've watched Fear Factor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I was raised on that. I didn't care.
Nothing.
Like they were like, oh, the ice cream is so gross. It's what you can't ruin me with a book. It's just not gonna
Nah,
happen. Words cannot.
I wasn't
ruin me.
really phased by some of them. I mean, the only thing I was thinking the entire time is like, they're like, oh, I'm gonna eat the cotton candy out of there. I was like, she's getting easy eyes, that's for sure.
Welcome, Night Owls, to the Book Club After Dark podcast, an inviting moonlit podcast. I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm Michelle. We break down fantasy, romantasy, and thriller novels.
All things enchanting, intriguing, suspenseful, and maybe a little spicy.
Each episode features intimate discussions on captivating stories, character breakdowns, fan theories, and more. And this is your content warning. This podcast contains mature themes and discussions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Episodes include explicit language and descriptions of mature romance, as well as depictions of violence and other intense subject matter. This podcast is rated R for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
And going forward from here, there's going to be lots of spoilers, of course, for the remainder of this series, which is our wrap-up of the Ruinous Love Trilogy. So consider this your spoiler warning.
Let's get cozy because the best stories are told after dark.
Okay, Michelle, let's talk about tonight's drink of the episode now that we got the business part out of the way. I am really excited to present to you this one here. And this
Ooh.
is our drink of the episode tonight. This one is going to be called Sparrow's Pick Me Up. And the reason for that is the ingredients that we've got in here, and specifically related to Rose, who was my favorite of the two of our main characters. And we have cotton candy, and we specifically have 3 cocktail sticks through the cotton candy, which we all know why that is. And our ingredients for this are bourbon, like a bourbon cream, and it's actually an oat milk brand, coffee, so cold brew coffee, cotton candy, actually, in a shaker. And the reason for this is twofold. We obviously had to do cotton candy because the whole scene.
Of course. Yes.
And then we also I had to do coffee because I was like, you know what? They have so many breakfast moments. There's a lot of breakfast moments in this book, and it gets brought up more than like any other mealtime. So it was like, I needed to incorporate that somehow. And I wanted to incorporate bourbon as well, because we know Fionn has his like 2 fingers of bourbon, outside, and has his like drink when he's like really on edge and he needs to, cut the edge a little bit. So yeah, so we've got iced coffee, bourbon, cotton candy, all in a shaker glass. You shake this up. I'm going to show you on the drink of the episode how to make this. But of course, we had to get the cotton candy with the 3 skewers because eyeballs. So there you go.
Big fuck you to Matt Cromwell.
Yeah,
for that one.
guy. And so cheers. There you go. That's
Cheers.
the drink of the episode.
I love that. Good?
It's sweet, but it is really good. I think the bourbon, it kind of cuts well with the cotton candy. The cotton candy is so sweet. And then it's black coffee. So, of course, there's no sugar in that. So when you mix it all together, it all comes together fairly nicely. And the cotton candy I use, there's like a bunch of different varieties of bad cotton candy, which I didn't know this because I haven't purchased cotton candy in a long time. But yeah, they have like all these different varieties. And so there was a watermelon one, and then there was like a variety one. So that's the one I got because it had 3 different colors. It had blue, yellow, and pink. And then so it's like a raspberry, lemon, and strawberry. And so like I put like a little
Oh, fun.
bit of each one into the shaker. So you'll see when I make the drink, but I wanted to incorporate the different variety of it. And cotton candy, I mean, I've never personally felt that it was like very strongly flavored. Whenever you get a flavored one anyway, it really just tastes
No,
like
it's
sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah. So
It's sugar air.
yeah, so it has its unique flavor to it and a cotton candy flavor. And I actually have found like other cotton candy flavored things have more of a cotton candy flavor than actual cotton
Yeah.
candy. Does that make any sense? I know that if anyone's
No, for sure.
understanding what I'm saying, because that sounds like ridiculous. But anyway, it went well. I wanted to incorporate cotton candy in drink, and there you go. We've done it. And I wanted to definitely have the cocktail skewers. So that to me was important to
Love that.
incorporate. So here we are. That's your drink of the episode.
Love it.
This episode, we're exploring Scythe and Sparrow by Brynne Weaver, of course. So whether you're reading along with us or you're just here for the book talk, we are glad that you're here. Let me break down exactly how tonight's episode will go. In the same way that we've kind of already explored this series, the first 2 books, we had a guest. We also have 2 very exciting guests tonight that will be joining us in part of the All Up interview, of recap of our interviews for this book. And our guests tonight, tell us who our guests tonight, Michelle. Tell us, who are our guests?
So, of course, we had to have Steven Walker and PB Squamer back to talk dark romance of all
course.
things.
Yes. We never thought Steven would go to the dark side, and yet here we are. He's joined us.
No. He's very much enjoying it in terms
Yep.
of his social media. So,
Yes. So we saw that Steven had done like a full review, and obviously we know PB Squamer reads dark romance, and they actually had on the Smash podcast, their show, they actually interviewed Brynne. And there was
Weaver.
like a whole, they had they had the author on there, and I was like, hey guys, do you want to come back? And they're so accommodating. They both are. And of course they were like, yeah, absolutely, we'll come
They're
back.
fun.
So they'll be joining us this episode, and yeah, there'll be lots of frivolity and ridiculousness, and I can't wait to enjoy that. But before we get there, we will talk about our trigger warnings. We'll talk about the plot. We'll talk about this whole story, how it wraps up, leading us into our next trilogy, which Brynne Weaver releases her latest book, Taurus Season, September 23rd. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And we'll wrap everything at the end after the interview segment with Mr. Q&A and what we have coming up for a book called After Dark. So that's kind of our episode all up of what you can expect tonight. So let's get into it.
begin with our trigger warnings. And as with the last 2, there's a laundry list of trigger warnings. So again, dark romantic comedy, we have eyeballs. She for someone who doesn't like eyeballs, she has a thing for incorporating them in every single book. Also eyelids for this one. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Cotton candy, sausages, and or hot dogs. Ill-advised use of a staple gun. That is an understatement. And
Yeah.
beer on top of that. Beer wasn't included in that, but it should be. Because the entire time he's like rinsing his eyes out with beer. But okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to add that to it. Drug-addicted raccoons. I don't think that's a trigger, to be honest.
No.
Barbara's not triggering.
Barbara's pretty great.
She's adorable.
Yes. She even has a harness. Come on.
I know, at the end.
Mhm.
Clowns and sexy clowns, because they're clearly different. Medical trauma. Impaling, both non-sexy and sexy kind. Domestic abuse, not depicted. Psychological abuse and emotional abuse. Sexual harassment, threats, intimidation, and misogyny. Injured dog, he's fine. It's Bentley. Same dog
Yeah,
from last
Bentley,
time.
same
different
dog.
POV. Parental neglect. Child physical abuse, but not depicted. Numerous weapons and sharp objects, including knives, guns, baseball bat, metal hooks, and edge beveler.
Mhm.
Detailed sex scenes, per usual. You can see what's included. Explicit and colorful language, that's an understatement. And
Oh,
lots
yeah.
of death and injury, because here we are. We still have the serial killers and all the things. So
Yeah. Yep. Pretty great. And of course, just like the other
Mhm.
3, or rather other 2 books, you have your content and trigger warnings, of course, but the
Mhm.
book is for those of you who read Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark and said, hell, I've already endured the ice cream and pizza. I might as well keep going. You are truly my people, and this one's for you. So that's pretty great. And then naturally, she also has her personal playlist that she included in this that you can access on Apple Music or Spotify, literally chapter by chapter, 3 songs each for most. So it's nice that she incorporates that. I think it's still a really cool thing that she incorporates, and a lot of dark romance authors do that as well. And I think it definitely gets you into the mind and the vibe of the setting and the plot that we're getting into. So that brings us to our main characters.
Agreed.
We have Rose Evans, who's our circus performer. Her specialty is the globe of death with motorcycles. So she's one of the motorcyclists, the cyclist that goes through. And for the Silveria Circus, she's also a tarot card reader. And she avenges mistreated women by unaliving or injuring their spouse, but also gives this treated woman the opportunity to. She kind of starts off that way. What's really interesting about this is that you have all these serial unalivers throughout this book, and the women who do this avenge very different types of villains that we see in the real world. So for Rose, she is avenging battered women, and this is her way of doing this. And it's really interesting because it speaks to a person in real life, and it's referenced in the book, the person in real life that Rose is kind of written after. So we'll talk about that more. But then we have Fionn Kane. Dr. Kane is annoying as shit. I still love him, but he's very annoying. And he has his own clinic, and he's the youngest of the Kane brothers. So he's got a lot of trauma. He would be our Scythe, whereas Rose Evans is Sparrow. And we can talk more about Dr. Kane. I do love him as much as I love the other two. I do. But he is just, come on, sir. There's moments where I was like, sir, absolutely, like, get it together. Get it
I love him for
together.
Rose.
Yes.
But
oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely my least favorite. Just because.
Well, I just wish
I know he's the youngest brother. He's the youngest brother. So obviously he kind of acts like a baby brother in a lot of senses of the term. He's, there's definitely an age gap between where we go from Lachlan, who is the eldest brother, then all the way down to Fionn. So there's definitely an age jump there in terms of maturity and ability to talk to people and just like just in general. It's not even a bros. Well, yeah, it's like, sir, you're a doctor, but also you've been living in this town for how long, and you don't know a single one of your neighbors? Really? We just shut ourselves out.
Yeah, there's like under 3,000 people in the whole town. Like, how do you not know anyone?
It's super tiny. Yeah, he has a lot of problems. So, which is why we're here.
So our setting takes place all in the United States, but primarily in Nebraska and Boston, mostly in Nebraska, I would say, and a little bit in Texas. There's some jumping around, a little bit in Maine and a couple different places, but primarily we are in Nebraska and Boston in this story.
Now let's get into our plot. So we're going to start with the introductions of our main characters. Obviously, we've seen them in the last two books, but this is their full story introduction. So Rose she's in the circus. She's doing a tarot card reading for a woman named Lucy, and she can tell through like body language interaction with Lucy and her spouse that she's being abused. The reading shows that, she's pulling the cards and she's explaining to Lucy the reading that great change is expected. And the husband's like, you shouldn't put crazy ideas in her head because now she's going to think something different's going to happen, and he's a fucking asshole. So that's where we get Matt Cranwell.
Yeah,
and
really bad.
He's our main antagonist for the big majority of the book here. And it starts off right here, basically first page. And Rose ultimately gets a younger performer who's a magician to steal the husband's license so she can find his address. And she has this vendetta against him now because Lucy specifically came to her. And this is where we're getting introduced to her idea as the Sparrow. We don't get this in full detail until later on in the book, but this is how we start off. And the Sparrow is the Avenger persona of Rose, where she avenges the battered women. So in exchange, he wants to get things from town, bananas, a pineapple, and cocktail sticks from the store. Ultimately, he wants to buy a game station, and he's trying to bribe his mom. He's going to make her a fancy Hawaiian drink.
Yeah, like a drink from vacation, which was also an idea for the drink of the episode. I did think about that, but I wanted to incorporate both of our main characters, so that's why I went with a bourbon drink instead. But I did think of that.
That makes sense. And then she gets the address of Matt Cranwell, goes to their house, and when he's outside, she tries to knock him out with a bat. And that doesn't go very well because Matt's bigger than her. And he just kind of gets really pissed off and takes the bat from her and literally destroys her leg and breaks it from being hit multiple times with a bat. Yep. Right. And this is where we get the cocktail sticks. Yeah. The bone literally protrudes out of her leg. Yeah. It's pretty
really bad. Yeah.
But she ultimately, because she's not going to die tonight, so she knocks him down and then stabs him, grabs a bunch of cocktail sticks, and 3 are wedged into his eye. And this is where, he's like, what the fuck? Because that would hurt so bad, but he deserves
God,
it.
yeah.
And then she
Oh, he
climbs
does.
onto her, yeah, but she climbs onto her bike and escapes. It's like, girl, your leg is barely hanging on. And she's like, well, I have to go. And then this is where we get kind of a switch to Fionn's perspective, but he gets a notification that a woman is at his clinic, and he's thinking it's Barbara. He's like the fucking raccoon again.
Mhm.
And obviously it's not. It's actually Rose, who actually broke into his clinic and like started bandaging herself up, which
Yeah.
also, your leg, ma'am, and you're just breaking into places, like how
She's crafty.
But she's that is a resourceful woman. And so she has like a makeshift tourniquet, medical supplies scattered everywhere, and then Fionn calls an ambulance to escort her to the hospital, where Rose kind of teases him about being a real doctor, and that's like their joke the entire book, right?
Well, he
That
shows
he
up
doesn't
in
have
like
the
running
credentials.
gear, like he's
Yeah.
like not in his, like he's not dressed, but she also broke in when the place wasn't open. So
Right.
he had gotten done
That's also on
running,
her.
and so he gets there. Yeah. And
Yeah.
this another thing is like, just like the previous books, this is multiple POV. So we jump from Rose to Fionn, we jump back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah.
Which I think if we didn't, it would make me really irritated with Fionn, because I don't know that I could tolerate him at all if I didn't have his perspective. He would really piss me off if I only had Rose's perspective. I'd just be like, sir, But anyway, we do get his perception pretty quickly. And this is another, he falls first. He falls first. I love the way that Brynne Weaver writes he falls first. And I know that we're getting another he falls first in her next book. So I'm excited for that because because she has this ability to write he falls first well and not in a cheesy way, because I've seen it, I've read it both ways, and I always still love that trope, but the way she does this, because her characters are so complex, it works with her story.
Yeah.
And you can already tell Fionn's like, it's too late for him now. He's like invested at this point. Even at this very
he invites
beginning.
her to his house.
Yeah,
within knowing her for like mere hours, and we find out later that she's like begging for him to like help. Like, this is something that she's not entirely conscious of, but he sees over the camera that he's like, please help me. And like something just like cracks in his soul at this time, because no one's really ever begged and asked something of him for like to need him, to want him actually. And this is one of the things that he struggles with, is being wanted, because his ex was actually kind of a piece of shit. So, that just kind of spoke to him. But he also scrubs into her surgery to like fix her, which he never does either. So again, this is how he's expressing that he is falling without knowing he's falling, but he's clearly falling first, that he's like breaking all these rules. And one thing he also finds out at the beginning, which I think is interesting with their character arcs, is that he finds out that she essentially is the one that injured Matt Cromwell from the very beginning, because he finds Matt Cromwell's ID in Rose's wallet. So from the very beginning, he's like, okay, I know this. There's something going on here, but I'm going to accept that for what she is.
Well, he also knows
which
that
is
Matt's
interesting.
a piece of shit, so.
Right. But I just think that's interesting because, with Sloane and Rowan, they're both serial killers, so obviously they're going to accept each other. And also with Lark and Lachlan, kind of both, well, Lark's more of the serial unaliver. Lachlan is more of a
Contract for hire.
Contract killer. So, and then these two is a circus performer and a doctor. Their actual like jobs very different.
Oh yeah.
From the whole serial killer thing. So I think it's very interesting that he notices that and kind of accepts that darkness.
Looks the other way,
but doesn't accept it in himself, which is that's a part of that was like really frustrating with him. But also enjoyed it in the story.
I think it makes sense though, because he feels like he's the only one who's supposed to be the clean one of the three Kane brothers. He's supposed to be the one that the sacrifice of his older brothers allows him to go have this completely, vanilla life, so to speak. And that just doesn't work, because all three Kane brothers are certainly not vanilla in any sort of the way.
No. And
just,
vanilla has its time. It's okay to want vanilla for a day, but a whole life of vanilla? No. We need some spice in it.
Agreed. Exactly.
We need some cotton candy covered things.
So now we know Rose obviously busted the shit out of her leg, right? And so she can't go back to the circus. So she needs to rest and catch up. And the owner of the circus, Jose, comes to visit her, has this moment with Fionn and like gives him a hug or whatever, and basically says to him, you don't know this at the time, we find this out later, but to take care of her and to, please take care of her. And he says he will. And all of this happens like really quickly. This whole situation happens really fast. And he ends up inviting her to come stay with him because he finds out where her RV is going to be. Dorothy is going to be parked. And it is quite literally referenced Children of the Corn are like outside playing.
Yeah.
And then it's like Children of the Wheat is what it's ended up because there's wheat growing nearby. But they like don't blink. They all like swing on the swing at the same time. It's like hella creepy. And she's like, well,
Sketchy.
I could stay here, and he's like, no, these children out here are going to murder you. Like, I'm not letting you stay here. And she's like, and to be fair, we need to understand like the gravity of her situation. She rides a motorcycle. Okay. Her leg is busted to shit. She lives in an RV that is not built for ADA accommodations. Okay. This is not for someone who cannot walk.
She doesn't even have AC.
No,
at all
just no
either.
air conditioning. Like how she can barely get up by herself to like go to the bathroom. It takes like 15 minutes. It's noted that like even in the bathroom in the hospital, she's like struggling. So for her to be alone trying to manage this, it's not as if she like, had a minor fracture in her arm or something. No, this is like she could have died. Like she would have bled out and died for sure if she had been left untreated. So it's really serious injury and she just definitely needs someone to help. And so he kind of fills that gap right there for her.
Right. So when they're living together, Fionn is essentially like, this is very different. Like he's like constantly like in his head, like, why did I accept a stranger into my house? Like I'm structured, I'm organized, I'm predictable, essentially. Or that's what he wants to be. Right. And Rose is none of those things. She's a chaos monster, ultimately. Yeah.
Mayhem
which we love
is
that.
her nickname. Yes.
Yes, Mayhem is. And so they go through kind of like some mundane aspects of their life where she's healing, he fits her for a cast, she has to get around in crutches, and there's this point in time where she actually gets fitted and Fionn has a few hours in the clinic, so she was like, well, I don't want to hang out in the clinic, let me go familiarize myself, because she's not used to being still. Like being still is not her thing. She like hobbles like 5 blocks down, makes her way into a hunting and fishing supply shop. And she hears like a man on the phone, like literally berating a woman, which we find out is Naomi. And Naomi is actually connected to the hospital visit. She was the nurse there. So she recognizes Naomi as the nurse. And she realizes like, oh, that's why when she smiles and never reaches her eyes, she's like dead inside because this asshole is who she has to live with. And he's like, blackmailing her. Like, if you're not home by the time I get home, then I'm going to send everyone their pictures. So it's awful, ultimately. And then when the guy, his name's Eric, notices Rose, he like flirts with her, like trying to brush off the phone call. And he's an asshole. He's a complete asshole. Yeah. He even, like, he buys a gun and the shop owner's like, it's fishing season, not hunting season. And he's like, yeah,
he buys rounds for his gun, yeah.
Yeah.
He buys rounds.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to go fishing, but if I hit a deer too, like, don't tell the cops. It's like, seriously? There's a reason why there are different seasons for different things. So, don't overkill the population. But he doesn't give a fuck. So she ultimately buys a knife.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He ultimately buys a knife, then leaves the store, and then she sees Eric's truck. And Eric's like talking to some people. He just bought some beer. And she's like, I see this opportunity. So I'm going to sneak into like the back of the truck, not the bed, but like the back passenger door. And or at the
this
back.
Part was to me where I was like, girl, you can barely fucking walk. What are we doing? But she can't help herself.
She doesn't care. No, she can't, because she knows like Naomi needs help. And this guy's an asshole. And the back of his truck is completely disgusting. And
he's not just
she's
an
like
asshole.
Hiding under
he's
like this
he's
blanket.
Abusive. Yeah, like he's abusive. He's
he beats her.
Abusive piece of shit. And he also cheats on her regularly and like threatens her, and she can't get out of it herself. And she is a victim. Naomi's a victim, and Rose is willing to. She's like, well, this is my perfect opportunity.
Well, the opportunity is she gets to lie under a really stinky blanket. She has her blade like kind of cuddled to her. And she's riding along and then Fionn calls, right? And obviously the sound of it startles Eric. And this is where she jumps out saying, "Ta-da, motherfucker," and stabs him in the neck. Like, doesn't give him a chance. And he immediately like bleeds out. She ultimately jumps out from the car as he like,
Yeah, the blade's brand new. Like, it's super sharp.
Yeah.
She just bought this thing. Yeah.
It's like a hunting blade. It's not like a little like pocket knife.
No,
like,
and it's designed
big
for
sharp
this.
blade.
Quite literally. Yes. That's what it's designed for. On animals. But
so, right.
I would consider him an
and
animal.
And he's an animal. Yes, absolutely. So she jumps out of the car as he like dies slowly. The car's still on. She's hoping to like jump out and the car will roll towards the river and it'll just fall off and he'd disappear forever. But it doesn't quite make it to the river. So she's like, okay, well, now I have to figure out what the fuck's going on. So she calls Fionn. He gets there. He's confused about what's happening. She kind of explains to him and like she uses a lot of circus lingo, which is really funny because no one understands what she's saying. And this is where we get our like really gory aspect of Staple Gun. So she finds his phone, but he has Face ID. So she has to staple his eyelids open to unlock the phone. But like when she's doing that, blood is literally dripping down his face.
Yeah.
So they have to pour
this
beer over his eye to rinse the blood off so she can get the Face ID. So both eyes, blood and beer everywhere. Anyways, she unlocks the phone. It works. He was cheating on Naomi with multiple women, as you said. Of course. And she explains to Fionn that he has been abusing and blackmailing Naomi, the nurse, very similar to Cromwell. So Fionn's like, okay, well, I'm going to help you push the truck off the cliff into the river. And then that's that. They just, they do it.
He just
and then
assisted with murder.
It's like, okay.
ANBD.
It's
what?
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Everything's fine. This is fine. Fionn likes to knit and watch trash TV, which we do love about him. I love that. That was fun. Yeah. He also huge into fitness and singing and all of this, and also is a doctor. But in his free time, he also crochets and he makes doilies, among other things. So he hangs out with the Suture Sisters. But anyways, there's a reflection about what we know of Rowan, Fionn, and Lachlan before they left Ireland and what happened with their father. So there's a brief period of reflection for Fionn as he's talking about he feels like he sold his father out and that the last fight he had, that their father was drunk, and Fionn tries to defend Rowan. Their father obviously shoves Rowan. We kind of know this story already because we've heard it before the previous two books, but Fionn's background of this and what his brothers don't know is he was the one who stabbed his father in the back and ultimately is the real reason like that he died, he thinks. So he grapples with this idea that he has no remorse. He's actually fine with Eric's murder. He didn't feel anything. Nothing. He didn't feel bad about it. He was worried about Rose. He didn't care about Eric at all. And meanwhile, from Rose's perspective, she's like, fuck, I just got this guy to like get involved in this. He must be terrified. He must like be wanting to turn me in. Why isn't he turning me in? Like what? She's like very confused by his complicitness in all of this because he just goes with it so easily. And so she's just like, he has to be like really freaking out, right? But this is where we get introduced to the Knitting Club and Suture Sisters. And this is where we find, because there's these moments where it kind of breaks up. The story breaks up and jumps in time. And we get Fionn's perspective because he hasn't seen Rose and she had left for the day. Because remember, they're sleeping in separate rooms. And he's grappling with the fact that he's like clearly falling for her and wants to touch her and all of this and can't or doesn't think it's appropriate because he's her doctor and blah, blah, blah. He's, really, I say blah, blah, blah because the motherfucker mentions us so many times. And I'm like, sir. But anyways, he is going to Suture Sisters and gets there, opens the door because he was saying he like didn't know where she was. And Rose is there on the couch already. And I love that about her because she just like pops up, wherever, because she's like, she's trying to figure out, she's just this social butterfly who needs to go and chat with everybody. So she does.
Mhm.
And this is where she mentions what she needs to work on. And she's like, yeah, how much weight do I need for this? And he's like, oh, what are you making? And she's like, oh, a sex swing. And the way I was like, oh my God.
He's like choking on
He
lemonade
can't, like, he
at this
can't talk.
time.
Yeah, he's literally like, he's like, oh my God. And he like can't help. He's just like beet red, the whole thing. And completely embarrassed. And I love this
And
about
like
Rose because
the older
yeah.
women, right?
they love
but
it.
like the older women are like, well, like they're getting technical with it. Well, you probably actually need this type of swing or this type of yarn
Material.
And you know what? My husband can actually make a frame. You probably need a frame to go along with that. So they're like totally
Yeah, so it
buying
can
into
mount
it.
to the ceiling and make sure that
Yeah.
can support the weight. And they're like of roughly a 6'4" man and yourself. Wink, wink. And I like this too because it's another tie-in to bringing in elderly women, actually, because she did it in Leather and Lark too. But Brynne Weaver brings in the Suture Sisters, and it makes them funny as fuck and just like relatable and funny and caring, and just another group that she ties into the storyline that help advance the story and are just a funny highlight to the book overall.
Right. Then after they leave the Suture Sisters, Rose questions Fionn on why he didn't turn her into the cops. And his phrase that he uses all the time is because you asked me to. And he repeats this constantly when Rose questions him on why he does certain things. And it's like because like no one has ever asked him to stay, to help, that sort of thing. She asks him about the woman who broke his heart, which is Claire. Everyone knows that he fled Boston because of this big breakup. They met in college. She wanted a perfect life with a bit of chaos, but she was like she's not Rose type chaos. Her chaos is very like, I want to stir up shit because it makes good entertainment for me while other people are like miserable.
Not for her.
Which is very selfish. Yeah.
Yep.
So she wanted this life. He was kind of too boring for her, and he then like turned him down when he proposed. So he came to Hartford to clear his head and figure out what he wants from life. And he reflects a lot on like the rejection from Claire itself wasn't what broke him. It's kind of like it shattered his reality of what he wants, and he believed that he wasn't good enough for the happy life. So it's like he has demons that haunt him essentially from his past, and he's trying to constantly conquer those. So, and he wants this happy life because his brothers want him to have a better life than they have. So he has like this forced expectation on him from his brothers, and so that's kind of why he is the way he is.
Is it from his brothers,
his brothers,
I don't know.
Right.
I think
Well,
a lot of it's self-imposed.
Right, it is. Lachlan ends up apologizing because he realizes like, if you're so like, think about it. Lachlan was 17 when he ultimately became like kind of a father figure to the other two because he was the one working. I know we've talked about Leander being like a quasi something in their relationship, but he was ultimately the father figure because he was the oldest brother while the other two went in school. So Lachlan's 17, Fionn's a good bit younger. He has to still go through school. So he sees all the shit his brothers do for him. And Lachlan even apologizes saying like, I was saying like, you should have a better life. You should have a better life. And, it did a lot to your mentality.
So then we have more comic relief in the form of a drug-addicted raccoon or trash panda. So Barbara, who is awesome, Fionn gets a notification that the raccoon is broken in again, and Rose is like, yeah, because he said next time she breaks in, I'll bring you so you can like meet Barbara. And so he does. So they decide to make this plan of like how they're going to like corner her. And specifically, he's like, yeah, don't corner her because she can sense your fear. He like is joking around about Barbara. And of course,
is he joking?
Chaos. Yeah, well, yeah.
I think he's actually afraid of her.
Yeah, that's yes. Well, because she literally is a wild raccoon. It's not like she's domesticated in any sort of way. So they go around the back so they can corner her, and Rose darts after Barbara, but fails. Of course, she falls and it fails to get her. Fionn runs to her, and Barbara straight up just like I imagine if this were a movie, she just like flies at his face. And Rose like gets him off, gets her some trail mix, and like pushes her out the door. But it's hysterically funny when you read this part of like Barbara like attacking Fionn's face, and I was laughing when I was reading this.
Barbara's addicted to codeine. Like she's addicted to drugs, so that's why she keeps breaking in because she like wants these drugs that he has in his clinic. Which is like, how is she breaking in and breaking into wherever you keep, because that has to be like another like lock and safe where you keep all of your
I don't know.
drugs.
Raccoons are pretty dexterous, so I feel like
They are. They
she's
have the
figured this
thumbs.
out. Yeah, she knows what she's getting herself into.
And what's funny is Rose finds out how she's breaking in. She sees a vent that
Yeah.
she's
She's
likely
like, "I'll
getting
keep your
into.
secret."
He's like,
Yeah.
I'll keep your secret. I'm not going to tell him.
So she's making her way back
She's
in.
a girl's girl.
And she's a girl's girl. She makes her way back in, and Rose gets a text from Fionn that says to hide. And she's like, what the fuck? She hides, and she can hear the conversation of Cromwell because he stopped by to get his eye looked at. And he starts asking Fionn about the woman at his house because obviously Cromwell knows that it's her. Fionn protects Rose at this point, and this is their first like real physical contact because he realizes that this other man like wants to hurt her, and he quite literally cannot handle this. It's like touch her and die. And he can't tell her touch her and die. Yeah, which we love, obviously. He can't tell her that because he's an idiot. So he doesn't. He just like gives her a really big hug. And the thing that bothers me about this is that, all right, fine. It's still really new. I get that. But this goes on for like years before they finally get together. The other thing I love about Brynne Weaver is not only does she have Suture Sisters, which is like a band name, and then she also has the Blood Brothers fighting ring.
Brothers.
And I'm like, girl, she just comes up with these names, and I love all of them. And she did it so she's the Orb Weaver, Butcher and Blackbird. She's very good at alliteration. She's really good at doing these types of things that she's just a marketing genius, that Brynne Weaver. She knows what she's doing. And so she also has a pen name. Her Brynne Weaver's not her actual name, the author. And so it's interesting to me that Weaver would be her choice of her last name, given
She weaves words.
Yeah, but also like Orb Weaver. I felt like it was kind of a nod to Sloane. Maybe that was, but I digress. So we get down to underground fighting. And this is where we find out where Fionn spends the rest of his time as a doctor, because he sits next to the ring as these fighters get beaten up, and the experience of the violence of it brings him joy, and it gets like some of the monster of him out in his mind. In the middle of this fighting, he also has lost track of Rose again, shocker, and he hears her speaking. His like gut just like drops.
Well, she's supposed to be with Sandra and the other Suture Sisters.
Yeah,
that's where she's supposed to be. And she just appears, and he's like, what the you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Like, no.
And also, how did
this
you
isn't safe
find
for
me
you?
again?
Right. He's like, I was just wondering what you guys do for fun. And it's fine. I'll just sit here when you don't have anyone. And could you get me a beer and some Skittles? And it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
And Trucker Larry, 6 houses down, told me about this place. And Fionn's like, who the fuck is Trucker Larry? Like, how do you know all these people? What is going on? And I'm just like dying. I'm like smiling. I spent so much of this book like smiling to myself while reading it. And that, again, is also why this trilogy is a 5-star, because if I can get an emotional reaction out of me as I'm reading, like, per page, that combined with all the other pieces, right, that I laughed at certain parts of this and just really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a lot of fun. So Rose pops up, and he's like, you can't stay here. Like, this is not, like, a safe place for you. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, you've got your leg, like, propped up over here. There's these grown men, like, wandering around, like, with their hormones. Like, they're just raging, fighting and stuff. They're drunk. Like, so this man Bill falls onto Rose's cast, and Fionn can't handle this because we just talked about touch her and die, and he like pushes Bill. So then Bill like taunts him. Not a good idea for Bill, and ends up kind of getting what Rowan does the first time someone touched Sloane, which is exactly what happens with Rose here. Bill gets the shit kicked out of him, and not like a little bit. Like Fionn just like goes into the red and like beats the shit out of him.
Well, what I like about Fionn, which is different than Rowan, is Fionn is very precise, which is his like doctor in him, right? He did 3 precise hits to the face, and he was just knocked the fuck out. And that's all he needed. Whereas like Rowan just literally pummeled the shit out of someone until he was like mush. But Fionn doesn't need to do that.
No,
so I really did like that, because that's Brynne Weaver is like, okay, he's a doctor. He's not going to need to, even though he's seeing red, he's not going to need to beat the shit out of someone. Like,
and also,
he knows the human body.
And he doesn't want to. Like, he doesn't really want to kill people. Like, he doesn't have the urge or want necessarily. He understands if somebody deserves it, but like Bill, he didn't want to kill. He just wanted to get him away from
He's an
Rose
asshole.
and be done with it.
For sure. Agreed. But that causes like a weird tension because Rose is seeing that, you know, there are demons inside of him that he's hiding. And she kind of like guessed it, but she also tells him that multiple times. Like, oh, I like this. The doctor has a dark side. The doctor has a dark side. So she keeps throwing that out there at him, knowing there's something there that he's not telling her, obviously.
Right.
But that brings us to Rowan and Sloane. And they appear at Fionn's house. We already know this event happened in Butcher and Blackbird, where this is where Sloane and Rowan were at their annual game in Texas, and this is where Sloane dislocates and like injures her shoulder and gets the boot in her face from Harvey Mead's house.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting it from their perspective at this time, and you know, she has a concussion. We already know that. Rowan questions Fionn about Rose, and he's like, you know, you guys should hook up. He's like, no, I'm her doctor. She's a patient. Then Rowan's like, she's a grown-ass woman.
Yeah.
She might want to have some fun. And you know what? You could use some too. You're kind of tightly wound. So they get this, that implants the seed in his head. Like, okay, maybe this is fine. And what also is fun is that Fionn gets to hear the sex scene of Rowan and Sloane, which you can
And he's like, it went on for
thoroughly read in
hours.
Butcher and Blackbird.
Yeah.
For hours. He had his headphones in and everything. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, maybe I should stop pretending to be like a different person ultimately. And then it switched to like, you know, when they leave. When Rowan and Sloane leave, Rose gets like the sudden itch under her cast, and she takes Fionn's like knitting hook and is like shoving it down her cast. And she's like, I just need the itching to stop. And this is where they have their first intimate moment ultimately.
Yeah.
Rose,
he's like, oh, what do you need? And she's like, are you sure?
And he's like blowing into her cast, like it'll help. And and then he asks what she needs, and she like guides his hand up her body.
Oh yeah.
And Fionn immediately is like, I can't offer you a relationship. I'm like, okay, way to be a fuckboy.
Yeah.
At this point in time,
seriously,
like, come on, can we not? This is like the
like immediately
the
while
2
this
a.m.
is
text,
happening.
what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, the fuck.
I was like, why? Come on. So they set their rules. They're like, okay, we're going to set the rules. No cuddling, kissing on the mouth, PDA, sleeping in each other's beds, pet names except Doc because he's a doctor. And they'll continue to talk and check in on each other. So, you know, they had the rules, which the rules go out the window, like immediately.
Yeah.
Anyways, after this one instance, Fionn, you know, does his thing. They have their spicy time on the couch, then in his bedroom. So you can read about the spicy time.
Very good time.
Yeah.
In the bedroom.
It lasts quite a while.
It does.
Maybe some inspiration from his brother, who also took a long time, which is very interesting because that's when Sloane and Rowan had their first intimate moment. And literally the following day is when they have their first intimate moment. So, yeah. But afterwards, in honor of the rules, Rose hobbles back into her room and thanks him for the fun. So, yeah. But the spicing time doesn't end. It's true to Brynne Weaver. Once she introduces it, introduces it. Multiple chapters.
Now it's been introduced. And then we have a Mile High Club situation. But first, before that, we have to acknowledge that this is 3 books of miscommunication trope. So if you are not a fan of miscommunication trope or think you're not a fan, you might be a fan, because I thought I hated this trope, and I do get frustrated with it, but done well in smaller doses. You don't have to go through like 4 or 5 books of miscommunication trope, like dragging out forever for hundreds and hundreds of pages. So I think that helps, is that yes, there's a miscommunication trope, and that's definitely big, where they're both trying to like fit into these rules. They both don't know if the other one really wants, which to me is so dumb, because there's like so many instances of like they're obviously very hot for each other. So there shouldn't be any question of that, which is where we go to the plane ride.
The plane ride. So this is where Butcher and Blackbird again intertwines with Scythe and Sparrow. They're going on a plane to Boston because this is the opening of Butcher and Blackbird. So Fionn and Rose are going to support his brother, and they're having a little fun in the back of the airplane.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
And she's like, doesn't this count as PDA? And he's like, no, because nobody knows it's happening. And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, if you say so. So, yeah, it doesn't count. So, rule 1, or one of the rules are technically already gone, but whatever. They deboard the plane, and Rose's luggage somehow ends up in Florida. And she's upset because her tarot card deck is in the suitcase. But this is like a special tarot card deck that she has with her all
tarot,
times.
yeah.
It's it's her grandmother. Her grandmother died on the deck, and she's like, her soul's attached to it. She's the one that guides me. And, which is another like fun elderly way that you're tying in the elderly and how they support the youth. Very similar to Aunt Ethel.
Yes.
And Lark. So the hotel also booked them a king room, which if you look back the last chapter, one of their rules is no sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah.
So Fionn literally pays $800.60 per night so they can have separate beds. But they don't end up sleeping. But they still slept together. They argue about it since Fionn would rather pay almost $1,000 a night than sleep in the same bed. But he's like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. I'm bad for you. She's like, what the fuck? Like that's like something teenagers say. Or
no,
like,
it's fuckboy
if you're in, like,
behavior.
your early
because
20s,
it makes you think that they're
it's
like
complete
like he's like
bad,
doesn't want to
broody
commit. He just, but also like he just wants to get some. That's like the vibe it puts off to the woman. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And
Honestly.
she agreed to these rules, but these mixed signals, he's a whole
all
mixed
over the
signals
place
mess. Yes.
Right. I'll touch you on a plane, but I won't cuddle you in a bed. Yeah. Fuckboy.
Exactly.
But they end up cuddling on the bed anyways. So
of course they do.
Because Rose
mixed signals, I'm
breaks
telling you.
through.
Yeah.
Right, but Rose is like, he's trying to put up the walls, and Rose is like, I'm not having that shit.
Yes.
So she tells him she knows that there's darkness in him and that she would love to embrace it, and he should love and embrace himself in his own darkness, and that's how he's one whole person. And then they end up cuddling. So yeah, again, fuckboy shit. But
yep. So, and of course, we know what happens in Boston, that Fionn has to have an emergency to go help Rowan because of what happens to him and his arm. And Rose does get her tarot cards back because her luggage comes the next day, and she uses her tarot cards to kind of predict what's going on. And like, it came to a bad end. Whatever happened, it didn't end well. When Fionn returns to the hotel, Rose talks to him about how it makes sense that he wants to rise above the darkness because his brother embraces his. So he's like, I'm trying to like rise above this. I don't know that I want all that, whatever. And she also expresses again that she likes the dark and it's okay. So this is another very spicy scene that happens where they hook up again. And I'm like, sir, how many times have y'all hooked up? And then it talks about like all the times that they've hooked up in between, like a month goes by. They go back to Nebraska, and he talks about how he's bent her over the kitchen table, how he's had her in all these different places of his house and in the shower and like everywhere. Like they're hooking up all over the whole fucking house and in the clinic, wherever. They've hooked up a whole bunch of places. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. You're just friends, of course.
No
Just friends.
cuddling.
No cuddling.
No PDA. None of that.
Yes.
Such a fuckboy.
So Rose shows up at the clinic, right? And Cromwell comes back with flowers. She shows up at her orthopedic clinic. So she finally gets to cast off, and she shows up for her like first appointment. And Cromwell appears there with flowers because his wife had an accident, and she's in the clinic. Yeah, air quotes.
Right.
And he makes a comment saying that they found Eric's truck, and now they're looking for his body. And Matt questions Rose on whether she knows anything about Eric's death or being attacked or someone taking his eye or any of this. And Naomi interrupts their conversation. So Nurse Naomi interrupts her conversation to take her to Fionn, and she thanks her for getting rid of Eric. Fionn takes her cast off, and she needs physical therapy, and she is like, no, like I need to get back on the road. It's been like too long that I've been here. And she asks him if he could still check in on her. And so they agree. So 1 month later, Fionn visits Rose just outside Odessa, and he's visiting her. He arrives early before the circus is open, and he goes to the trailer, and he hears the sound of this treadmill going, and he's like, the treadmill's going like way too fast. Like there's no way the treadmill's going this fast. And the way I was like, what the fuck did Rose get herself into now? And oh yeah, she got herself into some more shit. Oh my God.
Yep.
So Rose enters the door, yeah, and the sound of the like rhythm doesn't stop. So he knows that she's not on the treadmill. So she's like, what the fuck? And then he's like, oh, she has someone over. Like she knew I was coming, but she needed to hang out with this other guy first. So there's this shirtless man, Chad, and he's telling her that he's going to beat her record, her fastest, whatever. And he's just like running and running. And then he also sees Barbara, and he's like, what the fuck? You took Barbara? She's like, yeah, she hurt her hand, and I took her so that I could take care of her when she hurt her hand. So I saw her injured hand, and I wasn't just going to leave her behind. Then she proceeds to tell Fionn that she has deliberately drugged Chad with a double amount of speed, and that he should be dead by now, and that she got him to do this test like by flirting with him and suggesting like, oh, you'd get something in return, and specifically mentions a backdoor reward that she would get. So he's like all excited right at this opportunity, naturally, as they are. And Chad deals drugs to high schoolers. He beats his girlfriend. He's a winner. And so he's been targeted. Yeah, he's a real nice guy, this Chad. And Fionn's like, yeah, you're not doing so well at this. I'm gonna have to help you out. And he encourages Chad, like, hey, why don't we go outside? Like, let's see how fast you really can go. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. Jump a fence.
Yes. And so Fionn tells him to take a few laps, and he's like, all right, keep going. He ends up impaling himself on this fence that Fionn tells him to run towards because he's like all fucked up Chad, not himself. And Fionn asks Rose why she keeps doing this if she can't like stomach the gore part of it. And she's like not good at this, which we have seen now.
No,
like she's not
every
good
time.
At this. Yeah, it's like
she
by the skin of
vomits.
her teeth. Yeah, but also like she also
can't.
barely gets away with this too. Like,
oh yeah,
not good at the cleanup, not good at the planning, the execution. Literally, all of it is not.
And he would
good.
know because his brothers are, serial killers / contract killers. Yeah. So he's just like, you're not. Can we not stop with this nonsense? And she's like, no, I have to. Which I do like that about her. Like she's chaos, literal chaos. She has a mission, and she has a goal. She knows what the end goal is, but how she gets there is however the fuck she ends up getting there. It's not like a clear line. She doesn't have a plan.
There's a reason
but
her
she's doing it for
is Mayhem, right? Yeah.
Right.
Because she literally
But she's doing it
is.
for the people who aren't strong enough to fight back, which I do like that about her and about all the female main characters in Brynne Weaver's books is a lot of the reason or the main reason why the women have this vengeance that they have on these men is because something happened to them.
Yeah, they're victims.
And they're victims. And Rose counts herself lucky as she's one of the ones that made it out. But it's not fair that others can't do that. So she wants to be that person for them. And because she's lived a really terrible life and her grandmother was like her only out. But then when her grandmother died, she had to go back into her terrible life with her parents. So she's going to help those who ask. She won't put the responsibility of killing on them since she had made a mistake and the wrong person died. So we get a little bit peek into that later on. But there's that hint that we get the initials. She has a tattoo on her wrist, the initials VR, and then there's a flower on it. But this is where she transitions from being the person who provides the method of killing to the one who actually kills them. So even though she's been the Sparrow for a long amount of time, she hasn't actually done the killing process for very long, which is kind of why she's actually pretty bad at it.
Yeah. And also, there's this nod to, like I said, the 17th century apothecary woman who, in real life, this is a true story, she actually did provide poison disguised as various lotions and creams and other things for women, but actually assisted them in killing their husbands. Because at that time, you couldn't divorce them. So if you were in an abusive situation, women had no other out, and they had to tolerate this. Extreme, terrible conditions, things like that. And this woman provided the vehicle to help them free themselves of this. So unfortunately, she ends up getting caught in real life and died. But Rose is inspired by this, and this is where she kind of gets this idea for the Sparrow.
Right. So then tells Rose to get back in the RV so he can call the police. So as long as she's not out and about, there's no connection. It looks like some asshole did some stupid shit and died, which is because he is like a well-known asshole of the area. The cops are like, yeah, looks like an accident. He was on drugs. Perfectly just checks out for her. So Rose obviously wants to thank Fionn for helping her, but she makes it into a game of hide and seek. And so he has to like count in the RV, and she goes and runs and hides in the circus. And he ultimately catches her in the concession stand. And this is where we get our cotton candy.
Yes.
So she gives him his surprise for winning, which is spicy time. May involve some sort of toy that
Absolutely.
Fionn,
Yes.
Fionn gets very creative with some cotton candy and said toy that is used to spin the sugar around the cotton candy. And this entire time, like when I first read this, I thought it was really funny. And then we had our interview with Tiffany. I'm like, you know what? How dirty are those things? Like how dirty are circuses? Like imagine, like, what if it didn't get cleaned? What if that machine did not get cleaned and literally her butt juices are all in the cotton candy and people who are eating the cotton candy after her? I'm sorry. So yeah, that's
I
why
didn't
there's
think
the
about
trigger
it like
warning
that.
for cotton candy. No, I didn't either. Until
And
Tiffany
now
was
I
just like,
have.
yeah, that triggered me. Yeah. So
Because at first I was like, why would the sexy time bother her? And now I don't know
Yep.
why that didn't click until right at this moment. Because I was like so invested in the sexy time that I didn't. And then I'm like, oh, right.
that is a public use of a machine for commercial use, actually.
Yeah.
But let's be real, most circuses aren't very.
I mean, they're not.
They're pretty
particularly
subpar
known
in
for,
terms
like,
of their
5-star cleanliness. No.
No,
Don't go to the circus
no.
for
But
cleanliness. I almost never order food at the circus, personally.
Yeah, I'm very, very picky. But now I'm like, I would think cotton candy is a safe. It's just sugar and a stick.
We'll get super hot.
Cotton
So I
candy
would
is not
like to
even
think
steak.
that it gets super hot. You know, like let's think about it like that. It does get super hot.
Sure, hot enough to kill bacteria.
Let's hope.
Maybe some diseases rolling around there. I know Rose doesn't have any, but like, you never know.
Oh God. Sometimes I wonder the conversations that we have. Like, how did we get here?
So sugar, spice, everything nice. After the concession stand, they have more spicy time in the RV.
Yeah.
So good for Rose. We love that for her.
We do. We're happy for her. Oh my God. So now 1 year later, Brynne Weaver loves to jump in time. She also recognized, I think it's important too, like her characters are very, very traumatized individuals for lots of different reasons.
Yes.
So the pacing for her books is really deliberate and she spans out like a year of time. So 1 year has gone by. Rose is in her mid to late 20s now at this point, and they've been meeting up and been intimate throughout the year. And then Rose is now going to be staying in Boston as the circus season kind of starts to wind down. And the circus is there too, but she has an opportunity now because Lachlan is not living in his apartment anymore. He's living with Lark to stay in Lachlan's apartment. So he says, okay, yeah. She's like, I'll stay in your apartment. Rowan is going to try and get her a job at 3 and Coach, his other restaurant, and to help him start to manage the restaurant. And Fionn now is at this time is in the fighting wing with the Blood Brothers. So they're like in 2 different places right now. But Matt Cromwell confronts Fionn in the bathroom after the fight that Fionn goes through and is like, I know she had something to do with Eric's death. And Fionn denies everything. And he's like, someone of Rose's size attacked him. And he just keeps poking the bear, essentially. And he excuses himself for the bathroom and ultimately tells Cromwell, like, I'm not your doctor anymore. You're going to have to find somebody else. So Cromwell keeps coming up. So we know that he's going to be like a driver of, we're not getting rid of him yet. So he keeps coming up. So we need to figure out what happens here. And also you still have the question mark of Eric, if his body's ever going to be discovered and what went on with that. Because the only one so far that's been ruled an accident was the guy with the fence, Chad. So Fionn flies to Boston to meet with Rose. She's dressed like a Terrifier clown because this is like the end of the season. They're doing like a Fright Fair theme. So kind of like a different Halloween themed. So Fionn says he'll pick her up later that night. And Rose goes through her shift, but while she's closing up, here we see Matt Cromwell. His wife has left him, took the kids. He has rekindled his love of hunting, and he's been hunting the sparrow. So now I'm like, oh, fuck. Here he goes with this stuff. He's been doing his research because remember, he is actually got fired. He was a police officer who got fired, and he knows how to do some investigative work. Yeah. So he finds out who Vicki Robbins is, who's the initials that are tattooed on her wrist. It's like, oh, the cops never figured out how she got the poison that killed her husband and that the husband ended up murdering her. So it was an accidental thing. And he knows who she is, and that death seems to follow her at every single one of the stops that the circus goes to. And he's like, it's too convenient that it always happens to be men. It always happens to be, men in these local towns and what's going on here. So Rose is like, oh, fuck. So she hits the lights to her tent and like runs into the crowd of people. And she realizes like, I'm going to have to kill him like tonight, like now. I'm going to have to take care of this because he's going to kill me. There's no other choice. So she's running. She runs into this haunted house. And the benefit she has is she knows the layout of the circus very well. And so she's going to leverage that as much as she can in this situation.
And remember, she's dressed like Terrifier the Clown, like black and white, like sexy spinoff, but still. Like, so her running around this circus screaming like a fucking banshee. She's literally screaming, come get me, motherfucker, the entire time. That doesn't raise red flags because that's a whole part of the atmosphere. And the fact that like Matt's like chasing her, and he has like a bulb like on his nose. Like he's also in whiteface. He's a clown too. So it looks like it's a whole part of this. So
the show, right.
When you're reading this, you're like, shouldn't someone kind of figure out something's going on? But they look the part, like they're a part of the entire circus thing. So no red flags, even though there are many going on at this point in time. Right.
So Rose tries to get Fionn to go away because he walks up and he sees her yelling, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? And she's like, no. And Matt ends up creeping up behind Fionn, and they end up continuing through this haunted house. Fionn fights off Matt, stabs him very precisely, and literally drags the blade up like it's very violent. And then he ends up hoisting Matt onto this hook that's in the wall. And it's graphic, y'all. It's very graphic. Graphic end for a piece of shit graphic guy who is not a good person. Rose ends up covering his head with a sack.
Right. And he also blends into the rest of the house. So
yes. And then what I like
doesn't look like anything.
Yeah. What I also like too was like at the beginning of the book, Rose asks if you like can hit someone hard enough if their eyeballs will pop out. And then like this is the tie-in. I laugh because this is the tie-in where as they're like chasing him, she finally gets a chair and like hits the shit out of Matt. And his eyeballs pop out. Like his one eye is the glass eye rolls out, and then the other one like bulges out and like can't get it back in. He can still see, but like it won't go back in. And there's this part was like wild. She gets on her walkie-talkie and like tells somebody like, hey, someone threw up in the haunted house. Can you shut it down? And they're like, yeah. We won't run anyone through it again. And she's like, okay, cool. I'll close it down and lock everything up. Like, don't worry about him and take care of it. Because I'm also like, how the fuck are they going to get rid of Matt's body in this hugely public space now? Like, how is this going to work out? Right. So they close down the house, and there's a room that's like a scare room that's dressed like a bedroom in the haunted house where there's like fake blood all over the whole thing. It's everywhere. It's all this fake blood. And then they hook up in the haunted house, like very graphically. And I'm just like
his body's right there.
Yeah. His body's like on the other side of the wall. And they're just like, yeah, we're gonna do this right now. And I think it's like riding the high that she could have died. And
the adrenaline,
now he
definitely.
came. This is an adrenaline hookup for sure. And it's sloppy. She's covered in makeup. Afterwards he's like, yeah, well, and
Not
also, like,
cute.
afterwards, he is like, well, yeah, she had this, like, fake teeth that was horrifying and all this. And afterwards, he's like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it was a moment of passion, truly.
Right.
And after the fact that he's like, what the fuck am I doing? This has to get cleaned up. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're just hanging out. Like, what are we doing? We need to go. So Fionn realizes, like, that they've got to get this shit cleaned up. He tells Rose, like, you've got to go. And she's like, I can help you with this. He's like, no. So this is where we see Leander come back in full circle from Leather and Lark, and Leander Mays gets brought into this because obviously we know that Leander helped the boys when their father died. So he's known them for their whole lives practically since they were kids. And Fionn is like, Leander's like, why didn't you call your brothers? Because like they would know how to help with this. And he's like, well, I'm not going to involve them,
If he just called Lachlan,
right,
it would have been fine. Everything would have been fine. He wouldn't have gone to Croatia. Like, none
Right.
of this would have happened. Like,
Wouldn't own a debt
yeah, maybe
to freaking
right.
Leander. All of this
Leander
bullshit.
Mays, who's like prodding the wound and on Cromwell's stomach, and his bowels fall out. And he's like, "Oh, that looks like sausage. Actually, I kind of want a hot dog right now."
Yeah.
And then Fionn's like, "The concession stand's closed." He's like, "Oh, well, we're gonna have to get a hot dog. Like, we're gonna do that." So it's just like, oh, he agrees to a cleanup in exchange for Fionn's skills to help with a specific contract, which is 7 months.
And
He
at
has to go to
first he's like
Croatia.
indefinite. Yeah.
Right. And then Fionn's like, how about Croatia? And then we'll discuss things later on.
Yeah. Like, you're not going
because,
to hold this over
what
my
if-
head for, you know.
for the rest of my life. Right. Like, and Leander, probably what he's thinking is like, he just lost Lachlan, ultimately. At this point in time, he knows that Lachlan's contract is about to end because Lachlan has that deal with Lark. And so we're not quite at the end of Leather and Lark yet in that book. So he's not quite free, but he knows he's going to be free soon. So he wants to have hold of like one of the brothers ultimately. But yeah, so they leave for Croatia tomorrow. He ultimately is like, no one can know, especially Rose. And he knows all about Rose Evans too, which is Leander's a creepy fucking guy. So he has to have like this whole secrecy. And obviously Fionn's reaction is like, well, that means I have to be a dick and push her away and not tell her anything because it's for her safety. Yes, but you made a deal with the devil, which you shouldn't have done that. Lachlan would have told you like you're a fucking idiot. Or in his term, it's like Egypt.
Fucking idiot. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's upset clearly because she's like, oh, I thought I found my person. Now my person's like, I'm leaving. Never contact me again. And she asks Jose, which is the manager of Silveria, if she can rejoin them instead of staying in Boston. So she has coffee with Lark to say her goodbyes. And this is where Leather and Lark intertwine in the ending of Leather and Lark, where Lark goes missing. Fionn gets a call from Lachlan. Lark is missing. They help find her. Fionn and Rose fix up Bentley, but Rose leaves with Lachlan to find Lark. That whole scene is set up. We get a little bit more details because Leander is pissed because Fionn ditched his flight. Fionn was literally supposed to be at the airport, but then understands like, okay, that's a brother thing, but if you're not at the airport at 9 p.m. tonight, like, you don't want to know what's going to happen to you. So they get to the factory and Fionn finds Rose on the ground. And the way he's furious at Lachlan, he's like, you promised you'd watch her. You promised you'd look after her. And how did she get shot? What happened? And she clearly got stabbed. And it's like, not with a small knife, very large knife that she got stabbed with. So Lachlan obviously apologizes, but Fionn's like not accepting it because he can't fix her because they have like this little med kit. That's all they have there. So they call the ambulance. They come and get her.
Rose is like bleeding out. Yeah, it's bad.
And this happens really quickly.
It does.
Like Fionn's like telling Lachlan that he's the one that killed their dad, but Lachlan's like, no, you didn't. I mean, I didn't know you stabbed him in the back, but like I literally felt myself strangle the last breath out of his throat.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't on you. And he's like, I'm sorry that you've held on to that. I'm sorry that you have this tendency to run away. That's all my fault. That you run away from your problems when they're not perfect, when your life's not perfect. So this is where like Lachlan's taking a lot of the blame. And then he fixes Rose, and Sloane is like waiting by her bedside as she rests. Sloane gives Fionn an address to send letters to if he wants to contact Rose, and it's in Croatia. And Fionn's like, what? It's like, well, Lark actually got information out of Leander with the promise of like undrugged muffins this time, but she has to promise like not to tell Rowan or Lachlan where Fionn is going at all. So this is where he says his goodbye. He leaves a letter that's really sweet, apologizing for essentially what he's about to do to her, which is leave her, and then leaves. So the rest of the story kind of goes at a fast pace in terms of like letters.
Yeah, so out their time apart, because Fionn leaves, he sends letters, but she can't reply because he doesn't have a return address to reply to. They just kind of appear. So he sends letters to Rose, and each letter has a tarot card, and it goes through why this card was chosen, and he kind of like ties it into each letter. They're really sweet. Rose continues to go. She ends up leaving Boston. She goes back to Circus, and this is where she's receiving these letters. And this is ultimately ends up being over 9 months of time. So he has a contract for 7 months. He, I guess, comes back. We don't get his perspective here, but he comes back or whatever and kind of gets his stuff together. And he sends another last letter that says to meet him at Lookout Rock. And he gives her a last card of the tarot deck, which is Lovers, in the final letter, and apologizes for hurting her. And can she meet him there? Which is really sweet, actually. I just wish it didn't take so long for this to happen, but I digress. She meets him, and she makes him wait 3 days, which is good for Rose. Because he's like, I'll show up until, I'll be there at this time, every day starting on this day. And he thinks that she's going to show up on day 1, and she doesn't. She waits till 3 days later and finally shows up. And she's like, look, these rules have to go out the window. None of this is happening. And, he ends up agreeing, and all of us goes, and they decide to be together. And then she reveals to him that, which we kind of already knew, but she reveals to him that she's been writing responses to each of his letters. So she starts to read them to him. And then they end up going back to Boston to live together. And Fionn's like ready to propose. So they got everything lining up for how all this is going to go down. So then we go into our epilogue.
So epilogue is Rowan and Sloane's perspective. And the epilogue, there's 2 epilogues. There's also a bonus chapter that is only on the audiobook Kindle version that is Spicy Time with the sex swing that you can definitely read or listen to. That is, it's quite a good one. But the epilogues, specifically Epilogue 2, and the Love and Other Killers novella that Brynne Weaver just released a couple weeks ago, they all 3 tie together in like different points in time. So Epilogue 1, we have Rowan and Sloane. They're meeting the others in the woods, where Rowan is dressed up in a dragon costume.
Yeah.
This is Soul the dragon with scales and lots of paint. He did not use face paint like an idiot. He used poster paint, which means his skin is like semi-permanently stained for quite some time. So they detour into this small town, and the small town has like this weekly barn dance and a barbecue, and to check it out and see if the killer is there, because this is the day of their annual hunt. So
August
Rowan
annual
admits,
hunt. Yep.
Rowan admits that, he uses poster paint. This ultimately, the rest of the time he gets ragged on by all the people involved.
Yep.
And Sloane stops at this barn dance, and we don't get what Sloane's perspective is just yet, because this is from Rowan's perspective.
Yeah.
And Sloane like goes into the barn dance. Ultimately, he's just sitting there waiting for her, and she comes back with this really cheap whiskey, but kind of moonshine, really hard stuff that was made from some guy there. They end up meeting each other's at the cabin, who give Rowan shit for being green. I believe they call him a dumpster
But they're
goblin.
all there.
That's
everybody. Fionn, Rose, Lachlan,
everyone's
and Lark.
there.
Everybody's there.
Yep. At first, Fionn is a surprise, though. Fionn
Yes.
isn't quite there just yet. Rose is just there. And then he kind of joins them, and they all happily make fun of Rowan and embrace. Then Fionn gets down on one knee and proposes to Rose.
Yep.
And that's how that epilogue ends.
And it was kind of beautiful because the ring is like a sunset. It's described as that. And it's like 3 bands like put together with different stones. And I thought that was pretty cool, because it was kind of like where they finally started legitimately dating, was like in a sunset moment where they met. So it kind of tied together nice. Epilogue 2, there's a woman crouching in the woods, and she is a woman that we already met before in Butcher and Blackbird. She's crouching in the woods watching the cabin. She recognizes Rowan's voice. She's wearing the plaid shirt that was given to her by Sloane. And then she talks about how she had a love like Rowan and Sloane's, and that was Adam. And that 3 years ago, he was stolen from her she was in the barn back in Texas. So this is who is in the barn there. And she wants to be more like Sloane, not just a survivor, but like a force to be reckoned with. And her name is Autumn. She is seen by Sloane and nods at her, and they kind of like go their separate ways. But it seems like this is a nod to our future story that we're going to get soon from her.
Right. Exactly. So Love and Other Killers kind of picks up right where Epilogue 1 comes up. So Love and Other Killers is the novella that Brynne Weaver released. It's only on Kindle and audiobook. So there isn't a tangible copy. It's really, really short.
Yeah, it's just audio.
So this is Sloane's perspective. This is Sloane's perspective of their August annual showdown. And they have a target. His name is Alan Munster. And she's at the small town dance. The man literally approaches her, talks to her about places to hike, which is the Sproul State Forest. Munster recommends that she drops by his shop if she wants more alcohol, because he just normally does like chicken stuff. You know, he has a bunch of chickens. That's his whole chicken farm thing. But he also makes really bad alcohol on the side as well. She leaves, saying she'll visit sometime, and she thrives on hunting his kind, those who prey on the innocent. So Alan Munster is actually the Sproul Forest Spectre who hunts for human prey in the woods specifically. So he's trying to draw her into that, and he has no idea that she's hunting him, essentially.
Right.
Then they go into the cabin. Sloane is watching the Kane brothers revel in their reunion because, you know, Fionn proposed, and they're all like drunk and having a good time. And she's telling the girls who the killer is, because this is a different showdown.
Yep.
This is different. It's the boys against the girls, 3-on-3, who wins. So this is completely different, which I think it's funny. They're dragging Fionn and Rose into it. Rose can't like stomach anything, like so she's gonna intentionally kill this guy. Yeah, she is. And then Fionn has never really. I mean, he has, but like that's not really his main forte. So I thought that they were kind of interesting to add on.
Yeah, but let's face it, they might need a doctor out in the woods.
Right. No, exactly. So they need to get to the farm first, because Rowan is the worst winner, as we knew in Butcher and Blackbird.
Oh, yeah.
He would cheat, essentially, and let Sloane do all the work and, you know,
of course,
take the win.
Yeah.
So the girls help Sloane make her web before they head out, and the Kane brothers meet them at the chicken farm, which Sloane is like annoyed because Rowan clearly cheated again. And they argue until they agree that the girls and Barbara's with them with her little harness, get a 20-minute head start. At first they were like an hour, then they kind of negotiated 20 minutes. Lachlan's kind of pissed, like, are you seriously going to let her get a head start? And Rowan's like, if I don't, she will gouge our eyes out. So yeah, we're going to give her a head start. And as the girls turn to move toward Munster Farm, Sloane notices someone take a step onto the path. She recognizes her as Autumn from Harvey Meets Horror House.
Right.
Yep. And she gives her a nod, then walks away. So again, this is where those storylines are interacting.
And she realizes that Autumn is kind of doing the same thing. She's also hunting this guy. So she's taken up Sloane's going after other killers. This is what Autumn's going to be doing.
So the girls trespass onto the farm. Most chickens eye them with suspicions, but they have like these own little like chicken coops. So there's like free range chickens, and then there's chicken coops. A group of them are pecking something ferociously, and they realize it's a man. And Martin Joffreys disappeared a week ago, and that's clearly him being eaten by chickens. Which I'm just like, when I read this, I'm like, that means the chickens he's been selling are like cannibal chickens, and whoever's eating those chickens are eating the processing of like human bodies. And like, that's so gross. That's actually that happened. That's based on a real life. It was in Canada. It was a pig farm. It was ultimately a pig farm that this guy was luring. Yeah. Fun fact, it's a pig farm. This is why I listen to true crime documentaries. This guy who owned a pig farm, him and a brother and a sister, the one guy would lure prostitutes and people, and as a guise of like partying, and would kill them and then feed them to the pigs. So yeah, and pigs eat anything. Apparently chickens eat anything too. So yeah, that's based on true facts. So
Jesus. Okay.
Fun stuff. Rose vomits immediately because she's not good at this. No. And she took meds before to like help with this, and they didn't work. The chickens then ate her vomit, which is fun. So much fun for them.
Yeah.
And then they moved to explore the farms. They split up, check different farm buildings. So there's like multiple chicken coops. There's a barn. There's like this garage up front. And then there is the actual farmhouse. So Sloane's like, I'm going to do the farmhouse. This is going to be perfect for my web. So I'm going to stay here. After the 20 minutes head start, Rowan startles Sloane from a closet in the farmhouse because he's like, you're clearly
Dick.
in there. And it's funny how the boys ultimately go to where the girls settled in because they split up.
Yeah.
Munster drives up to the house and he's getting out. And then all of a sudden, Sloane hears Lark's voice, like, hi, excuse me, my friend told me about your whiskey. Can I come in and have some whiskey? He's like, yeah, I'll take you out back. She's like, actually, I have to go to the bathroom. Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
And he's like, sure. So Sloane and Rowan hide in the closet and she ends up tying him up in there.
Yeah.
Rowan. So he is stuck to a broom. And Rose jumps out yelling, ta-da, motherfucker, and throws a hatchet at him. So he's being ambushed here, which we love that. Lachlan blocks Munster from leaving, and Rowan's like, kill him. And he's like, nah, I'm not doing that. If we lose or if we win, no, that's not. She's going to kill me. She's going to drug my muffins, and we're not doing
Lark.
that.
He's like, no,
so he's like,
I'm not taking the win from Lark.
Yeah. Nope. So Munster throws objects at the girls. Clearly he's trying to protect himself. But Rose lands a blow of the hatchet into Munster's left ass cheek. Sloane then ends up doing this nice slide on the floor and slicing him in the neck. And then they all help create the web. So the girls have the win. Lark sews fishing line into Munster, incorporating him into her art, essentially. So usually it's just the eyeballs and some pieces of victims and all that stuff. But now he is actually incorporated. Lark's little touch. So later on,
we love a crafty
Rowan,
girl.
We do. Rowan comments how Sloane seems off, her mind is elsewhere, and she explains to him that she saw Autumn from Harvey Mead's house. And he's like, yeah, I kind of vaguely remember her. Rowan, when he hears this, though, he's kind of upset because he realizes that this Autumn girl has been hunting them, stalking them, essentially, tracking where they are.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But Sloane's like, no, I don't think it's anything bad because she knows who we are. She could have turned us in. She hasn't. She could have done something in the last 3 years. She hasn't. So I honestly think she's just, today's probably a hard day for her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, today's a hard day and she's just trying to process a lot of things. And maybe this is helping her process. And so Sloane's teasing him about taking the loss like a good boy, which turns into spicy time for them. And the story ends with a final quote. With one last kiss, we fall asleep, two monsters wrapped in each other's arms, right where we've always belonged. So I think this novella kind of ties all three of their stories in a nice little knot, or a nice little bow, especially Sloane and Rowan's, no loose ends there. And it starts the story for Autumn, which we'll ultimately see later on.
Yeah, and it obviously picks up in Maine for tourist season. So we're going to get a new MMC introduced, and I went ahead and took the liberty of looking at the playlist, and the first song is You Don't Own Me, is the first song, the classic, So I'm curious to see what goes on with the storyline and what happens with it, but I'm excited to read the book and see Autumn's perspective and how they all kind of tie together and where her story goes, because she deserves to have some redemption in her life for what happened to her. Harvey Mead, what the fuck? Agree. Yeah. So
still haunting. 3 books later, 2 books later.
Oh, yeah. So now that the book wraps up, we're going to transition over to our interview special. So hopefully you're still hanging with us and you're ready to tune in to the frivolity and ridiculousness that will be our interview with Steven and Squamer. So we're going to go and start that.
Enjoy. Steven, Squamer, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Woo!
You're welcome.
Woo!
It's good to be here on your podcast.
No!
Boom.
Yay.
I
Look at
love
those
that.
hats.
Amazing.
Yeah, I feel very bonita in this thing.
Do
right
you
now.
feel
Muy
bonita?
bonita.
Yeah. The
I
hair looks
love
good
them.
with it too.
I like.
They do.
I
It's
think
very
I like
flattering.
this because in my hair, if I do it this way, I look I look 10. I think I don't have the beard like Steven has.
I don't know. Yeah, like
I
you're
look like
golfing.
A 10-year-old with a
A
mustache.
10-year-old with a mustache.
If you
I
shaved,
think
it
when you
would be,
sit like
it'd be
that, I don't
past your
think it
curfew.
helps.
It doesn't. It's hats, but I like them like a turned around. So, but I do love a good dad hat. So, I like that.
It's very
I like a
flattering.
good
I like how it
daddy
came
hat.
I like 'em.
frayed or whatever in the front, like pre-frayed. I like it.
Mm. Yeah,
we
that was
talked
like,
about that.
ooh, this is bringing back my high school
like it.
days. I used to have
There
a
you go.
Hawaiian tropic hat that was a similar, remember Hawaiian tropic stuff?
Yes.
And it had
Yeah.
similar phrase in the front.
Oh, yeah.
I had a.
That was a big
I
deal.
don't remember what hats.
Yeah.
I don't think I wore hats much.
This was before you were
I was a toddler.
born, Toddy.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us today so we can talk, Butcher and Blackbird, Ruinous Love, Scythe and Sparrow, all the things, and hear your opinions on the series. So
Yeah.
let's give our
Absolutely.
listeners, we've had you on before, but drop your handles and talk to us about your podcast as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smashcast.
You go first, Squamer.
Hi, I'm PB Squamer. I go by PB Squamer on TikTok. I'm PB Squamer1 on Instagram
Sorry.
and Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Threads, all the things. I'm a bookish creator, and then anything else my ADHD can think of. Go ahead, Steven.
I'm Steven, and my handle is the official Steven Walker on Instagram and official Steven Walker on TikTok. I'm a bookish girly as well. Wait, you said guy. I'm a bookish guy as well. I like to wear hats, and we talk about books. We also have a podcast together called the Smashcast. And
You
can
do?
see that on all platforms. Yeah, it's the Smashcast podcast on all the platforms. So, and we talk about books there too, and we also tangent.
Aggressive
You do.
all the time.
A lot.
Yeah.
Our most recent episode was nothing but tangents.
Yeah.
I don't think we didn't even.
Yeah, I think we talked. Yeah, we talked 20 minutes about pooping, and it wasn't even
did.
in our notes that we did. Yeah, we
I
didn't
was gonna
have
say we didn't
notes.
have
That was
notes for
the
this one.
problem.
Sometimes out of
So
the two
tune
of
in
us-
now.
Yeah.
Everybody listen.
Tune in now. Yeah.
Yes.
They're probably thrown off by the pooping thing. They're
Yeah.
like, you know what? I don't want to.
I don't wanna-
It was worth it.
Yeah,
though.
some people might be into that. You know.
Some info.
You know,
You-
if we've learned anything from the bookish community, some people may be into whatever.
Well, we had an
film-
argument for 20 minutes about if you go to the bathroom in your hotel room, do you keep the door open or do you keep it closed?
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Am I crazy? Okay, you're home alone and you're going to the bathroom.
No.
Okay.
You're in a hotel alone. It's your room.
Fine.
No one else is
You
there.
pick a room. You pick a house. Pick a
Nope.
place.
Specifically
by
a
yourself.
hotel.
Fine. Okay. You're in a hotel.
Well, wait.
by yourself.
Who voted which way?
No,
this is important.
This is going to be the
Doesn't
biases.
matter. Doesn't matter.
You got.
Don't
Oh.
don't sway toward him because
Oh.
that's what's going to happen.
Oh,
Okay, so you're in the hotel by yourself, right? And then you're
Yes.
you're going number 2. Do you shut the door?
I'm traveling alone.
Yeah, you're completely by
Completely?
yourself.
You're by yourself. No one's in that hotel room. Do you shut the door?
I would say it depends. Like, is the
Yeah.
toilet connected to like the sink,
The
or is
sink?
it like right, like the
How
sink
does that
area?
work?
Because if my toothbrush is out, I'm shutting the door. You know.
Also, is there a fan?
Oh, you mean in the same
yeah,
room?
yeah.
Yeah, like, 'cause
Or is it
sometimes
like
the
a
Not like
toilet,
they
like,
are
in
like
its own-
using the same.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You get
She
what I'm
brought in
saying?
a
The
Okay.
whole new
toilet
aspect
layout
to
matters.
this. A toothbrush.
Oh,
We
man.
have questions naturally.
I don't think.
It's not a straight
Okay.
answer.
Oh well,
Okay.
I didn't have any of these.
Just generally
Actual
speaking, do you leave the door open or
questions.
do you shut it?
Number one, the door's open.
Okay.
Number two, I think it's a different ask.
Okay. All right.
There's other questions I have
Okay.
if it's a number two. We're talking about different biological properties with a number two
I-
that are not related to a number one.
Yeah.
One is sterile.
I-
I mean, obviously.
Okay. Thank you,
Right?
Dwight from the office.
I just
Is it necessary for me to drink my own
It's
urine?
sterile.
But I do it anyway because it's sterile and I like the taste.
is this not what you were getting at, Michelle, with the toothbrush thing?
This is exactly what I was getting at. Like if
You
I
see?
can shut off the bathroom when I flush, there won't be any fecal matter in the air, so it doesn't impact my toothbrush. So
Thank
What
you.
about
I
at
can
This is
shut
why
it,
we
then
host
yes.
the show together.
Is
This is why we
At
host the show
home
together.
is your-
There's caps on my
What?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
cover your
you-
toothbrush.
you cover your
and you
toothbrush
shut
at home?
the door, or you shut the
I
lid
have a cap for my toothbrush.
before you flush.
Or you keep it in something like, or you keep it in your medicine cabinet, you know?
Yeah.
This is
Are you
bringing.
guys mind
not-
This
blowing
is
for you?
bringing so many layers to this question I was not prepared
Yeah.
for.
The question was, do you shut the
Yeah,
door?
she was like-
I didn't mean to
There's
open
no
Pandora's
definitive
box
answer.
of
And
options.
she was like, "Well, what about my toothbrush?" And me and Steven are both like, "What about your toothbrush? Why?"
What? I keep my
It's an
toothbrush on the
important
floor.
question.
I mean, what about it?
I was not prepared for the follow up
All right.
on the questions.
You know what?
this
never
is why you
mind.
shouldn't
That's
have brought
what
us
we're
to the podcast.
Never mind.
This
I
is supposed
thought
to be a
we were
Scythe and
asking the
Sparrow.
questions.
I no longer care about the answer. We came to talk about
Yeah.
books.
This is what happens when you bring
I
us here.
can't breathe.
Hi, you guys were like,
You know why? Because you shut the door when you were
Yeah.
pooping. That's why you can't breathe. The
No,
answer. Here's the answer. Though.
I want to know
the
your
answer is I
answers,
shut the
though.
That's
door.
the point. Yeah, what were your
I shut the
answers?
door when I poop. Regardless of where I'm at, I'm shutting the door. Because it's reflexive.
Doors open.
It's just reflexive. Just shut the, like, I'm not a Neanderthal, okay? Shut the door.
Doors open. I will say it's sometimes
Doors open. The doors of the hall is open. Everybody's walking by looking at him.
Free show.
I make an announcement down the hall just so everyone's aware. Just so they're all.
I put my mom on speaker and she's right next to me.
No joke, my sister will call people every time she poops. So like multiple times I've gotten phone calls. My sister's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Are you on the toilet?" She's like,
That's a
"Yeah."
choice.
She does it a lot. She's weird.
That's a
It's
younger
fine.
generation thing, though. Is she a younger sister?
Yes, she's
I don't want to
Yeah.
poop
6
alone.
years younger than me, so she's 23.
Yeah, Gen Z is like very much into I'm gonna be on the toilet and FaceTime. Yeah.
She
They don't-
does.
Yeah.
My sisters used to
Yeah.
share a room, so my one
Wait,
sister
not
would
the phone call, FaceTime,
Yeah,
Face-
they'll do
or
both.
FaceTime
Yeah.
from the toilet.
You gotta
What?
maximize your time. Get your social interaction
This
in for the
is-
day.
I'm concerned about that
Multitasking.
generation.
Multitask. She's like,
Hey,
my
you
relationships
gotta
are really
connect
falling
somehow.
flat. I need to connect
Right now.
right
On
now.
the toilet with the door open. Wow.
My sisters used to share a room in a
Okay.
bathroom that connected to their room, and she
I've-
would like call, like open the door and be like, "Hey," they would.
That's one thing I've never thought as I was pooping was, I think I should call somebody right now.
This
It's
is
more like, I hope no
This
one
is-
calls me right
this is-
now.
You know what?
That's what I'm
feeling
thinking.
really lonely right now.
Well, now we segued and talked about nothing that we invited you all here for, which was also part of the plan.
You
We
got to
should-
prime the mower before you
Yeah.
chop the lawn.
We should segue now into our Scythe and Sparrow coverage and talk about Ruinous Love, because I know you guys actually got to have Brynne Weaver on your show. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
So our first question, we'll start off with, what did you enjoy most about that book?
Sparrow. Squamer's answer has become my answer. It's the jogging
I
guy.
do like the jogging guy.
Beyond.
You like Fionn?
Yeah, Mr. Fence
No, the
Post.
guy that
Oh, Mr.
takes the
Fence
speed.
Post, you guys that goes on
Okay.
He takes
the
speed
Chad on the
and
treadmill.
then, yeah,
Chad.
just going
Yeah.
at it. Yeah, no, the guy that's just like sprinting, and then she's like, "I thought he would just die," and he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And so he's just running.
Yeah, I was dying laughing at that part too, because she's like, I don't know, because Rose keeps getting herself in these situations
is
like she
horrible at it.
should just not. She's a
It's like,
horrible
yeah.
unaliver.
Yeah,
She's not
this is
good at this.
Terrible. The other two are pretty skilled
It's like
at
if-
it, and then she's just like,
Yes.
"Well, I just
A hot
gave him
mess.
speed. I thought he would just
Yeah.
keel over."
Yeah. It's like if Amelia Bedelia became a murderer.
Yeah, just.
Do you know that reference, Squamer?
No.
No, of course you don't.
To her defense, she did like ask Sloane and gave twice the normal amounts, like enough to kill a gorilla, apparently. So she thought she was doing
Yeah.
the right thing, but she
Chad was
ultimately
just a gorilla.
Wait, did
Just-
she
was
ask
King
him
Kong.
if that would kill him, or I don't think she asked
No.
him first.
No, she
No,
asked
she asked
Sloane.
Sloane
Oh, okay.
if that would be
Like,
good.
how do I kill
And
him?
she was
She's
like,
yeah,
yeah.
give them this.
I should
Yeah,
definitely
looking
kill
back on
him.
some of those kills, they weren't fun. Some of them weren't funny in the moment. When you think about them, though,
I
they're
don't
pretty
thi-
funny. Like when she's just in the back seat of the truck, and then she ends up
She has no
stabbing
plan.
the guy, and then they
All of her
wreck.
plans are like,
No.
I'm
No
just gonna
plan at
go
all.
at it.
Her leg is broken. She's like, I'm gonna get in the back of this dude's truck. Like, what? Your
is
leg
happening?
is broken. Why are
Yeah.
we doing this? She's like, well, he's a piece of shit. So naturally, he needs to die. Like, I just need to do this right
Naturally,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, she's
And I
like, what if
just
he
bought
gets
a
away?
hunting knife.
Yeah.
Like, but she just bought a hunting knife in the store, and then like
Yeah.
somebody dies via whatever. I was just like, okay, girl. All
You have
right.
to
Yeah, there's
trust her
no way
process.
she wouldn't have got caught immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
there's the
no,
like the
like-
theory that the crime lord guy, he is like helping cover up her crimes.
What is his
Leander?
name? Mr. Teeth and Beard?
Yeah, Leander.
Leander?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
It's like implied that he is like helping her not get caught later in the story.
because he's probably trying to.
Yeah.
He's covering for, and that's a good theory actually. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, Leander probably is helping cover some of her tracks, because the fact that she hasn't been caught yet, and she's so terrible at this, but she's literally killed somebody in like every town that the
Yeah.
circus has gone to. Seems pretty unrealistic, but the fact that she's tied to Fionn and like he'll protect the three boys in his mind,
Yeah.
that's a good theory. I haven't heard that theory.
Did
It's a good one though.
I'm not sure
We-
where I heard
we
that.
chat-
Did Bryn's?
Well, when we chatted with Brynne, she said her favorite character to write was that guy.
Yeah, Leander.
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 I don't remember
Interesting.
why.
He's a fun. He's out there.
Fun
he's definitely
is not
He's,
He's
the
something.
word.
he's funny.
I
He's
I mean, they're
funny.
all kind of weird and
Like in
quirky
book-
in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
for
book 2, he's making the pizza beer tooth thing. He's throwing darts at a guy's face. It's just like, what is happening right now?
Extra
was book
calcium.
2,
It's
right?
fine. Protein shake. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was book 2.
He's dark.
Yeah,
There's no question. He's definitely dark.
He's a
And
fun
actually,
dog.
so that's you guys are both going to be Chad's your favorite part that you enjoyed the most.
It was the
I think the
funniest. I don't know
crochet,
if it's my favorite.
the Smex swing was good too. So
You don't have to
I
censor
don't remember
sex.
the
It's
sex
Yeah, you can say
swing.
sex,
yeah,
yeah.
right. TikTok's like, hey, what word did you say? It's like you can say like other things. You can't say that word. Yeah, the crochet sex swing. Yeah, I like that. Brynne said she hasn't had anyone send her one. I keep getting offers, but so far PO box is empty. So
Oh, bummer.
I
That
know.
take a lot of
Dang.
time.
Yeah, a lot of them are like, I'll
would.
do it for you, but you have to pay for materials. I've gotten that a lot. Apparently, it will be like a couple $100 worth of crochet. So
Yeah, that tracks.
yeah,
That
so
tracks.
you know what? Might be worth it though.
Okay.
I feel like I'd probably honestly, I feel like if someone did make it for me, I'd probably make it back in like content monetization because like I feel like that would be really niche and people would really like it. So
Oh,
There's a
that
small
would definitely
flex
go
there, though.
viral
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
That would be
I think
really
it's-
popular.
you know what? I need to put that back out there.
Plus, it's tied to a book, so even better. I want to ask you guys though, can you tell us about your interview with Brynne Weaver? Because I know that's everybody go watch their show. They did interview Brynne. If you haven't watched their show, go check it out because they did do an interview with her, and you guys should check it out. It was pretty good. So, what was it
Yeah.
like interviewing Brynne? Tell us a little bit about that process and how it went.
I thought she was very down to earth and just easy to talk to. There was no awkward pauses or any weird moments. It was just like we'd known each other a long time. And she's just a good person, and she's hilarious, which it makes sense because she writes funny. But sometimes I don't know. It's an author will act different than you perceive them to be. But she was exactly how I thought she would be.
Yeah, she was pretty unhinged. I was curious how I was gonna be, just because like I think that some of the authors are like they'll write it, but they won't talk about it, or they won't repeat back the things that
Yeah.
they've said. No, Brynne is very open with the things that she writes and the things she
yeah.
does. No hesitation. We talked about the extra in the cookies and cream and all that, so she was all about it.
yeah.
So for sure, I was curious how it was gonna be, but
And now I've sent her messages before asking her questions, and now we just chat every now
Yeah.
and then. It's crazy
That's
to think
awesome.
about, but yeah.
yeah.
So now we're friends.
Yeah. And now we're just trying to convince her to let us go to the movie, the premiere.
Yeah.
That's what we said.
Yeah.
She said I have to bring her a raccoon before I can go to the movie.
Barbara.
You had
I have to-
doves.
I have to bring her a box of doves, live or dead.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so obscure. Okay.
Yeah.
It was something to do with our podcast, and Dove kept coming
It
up.
was
and we were,
because-
going to release the doves.
It's because Steven said something like, "Oh, she's so down to earth. She didn't even request anything for the podcast." And she goes, "No, I want my green M&Ms and my doves. When I showed up, I want them to like flutter." And so now Steven's job is to get doves. Or
I don't
dead.
know where the doves came from initially.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think she just kind
Just
of.
bring a taxidermy dove.
Yeah, I don't know. I think her point was that it would be equally funny or cool if you brought if we went to the premiere and then brought doves, but it would be even funnier if we showed up with a box of doves and then opened it and they were just all dead and they just flop out instead.
I feel like that would be the
That's so
beginning
dark.
of the snowball effect of my cancellation.
for sure,
I
but
think.
we'd be like-
a box of dead
We'd
doves.
all look at it and be like, "Well, Brynne told us to."
She's like,
She
I don't even know who
told
these
us.
guys are.
I don't know who
Security.
these guys are. Get them out of here. Get yeah. So yeah, she was super down to earth and super
Yeah.
fun to talk to. I was a little nervous, to be honest with you.
Of
She's-
course.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would be too. That's
She-
awesome.
She's a very sweet
Very
person.
nice.
She sent me an ARC copy of her new book, Tourist Season.
Oh,
Yeah.
saw that.
She was supposed to
How,
send me one.
how was that? Wow, we're
I
not
haven't
bitter.
finished yet. I'm
PB.
I'm over halfway done with it. It's really good. I like it. It's the same style.
Okay.
And there's a
That's
moment
good.
you get to and you're like, oh my gosh, wow. And you're like, but I can't tell you what it is.
Don't spoil
No,
it.
don't do
Of
that.
course, no
No,
spoilers.
you can't. It's not out yet.
Yes.
That book comes out, everyone. Tourist Season drops September 23rd. So make sure you get your copy of Tourist Season. And you can listen to, there's a bridged chapter that's about an hour long on Audible. It's exclusively on Audible. So you can go and pick that up there to listen to it again. It's about an hour long and it's kind of the bridge chapter into Tourist Season from Scythe and Sparrow.
This Samantha
You know.
Brentmore is Taurus season. She's doing that one as well, and
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
yep. She's gonna
We chatted with her
be
as well.
and she's gonna be a crow apparently, or was it a raven? It was one of the two.
Oh.
It's a raven.
was some kind of-
named
Okay.
Morpheus.
A bird. She was told she had to do a bird voice, which I'm very excited to
Oh.
hear.
Because apparently, and we learned this from her, ravens can talk. You can teach
Yeah.
a raven to
And a
talk.
crow.
Mm-hmm. Ravens are
Oh,
extremely
You
smart.
can teach. Yeah, you can teach them to do
And
a lot
mine.
of shit, and they're
please tell us.
vindictive.
They are.
They're
Very
vindictive.
smart.
Disclaimer was
Wait a minute. This
Yeah,
is way
they
more
are.
important. What do you mean? They remember?
Raven, yeah. Yeah, they have memories.
They put
They have
caps on their toothbrushes.
Yeah.
They have memories. So if you like piss one off, it'll tell the rest of the flock, and they will actually like
The rest of the
you know,
murder.
shit on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the murder
You
will
said it, yeah.
torture you, essentially.
That sounds
Don't piss off a
terrifying.
raven.
I don't like this at all. I wish the talk. First off, can you imagine them being mad at you and then also able to talk? So they're like talking shit. Like it's like a giant murder of crow or not a murder, whatever. And they're just talking.
Ravens, yeah.
Ravens.
Yeah, and they're just
I don't
talking
know
shit.
what
Like the giant group of them are all talking shit about you. I would have nightmares about that. Be like, look at his stupid shoes, and I'd be like, birds made for like it would just.
Yeah.
You're
I
worried
feel like
about
there's a movie called The Birds.
You're worried about
I don't know.
shoes? I'm worried about my eyes being poked
Well, that's
out.
No,
like-
I feel like it's funnier if it's
Edgar Allan
petty.
Poe.
And Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah, we've been down this
Yeah.
road before. It's literally
Birds,
called The
the birds.
Birds.
Oh.
No, PB.
Yeah.
Nothing?
Not very.
Wow.
I'm not.
That was
I'm not good
good.
at
Do we
movies.
know The Raven by Edgar
He doesn't even know
Allan
who
Poe?
Alfred Hitchcock is,
The poem?
probably.
No,
Oh, God.
I don't know.
The what?
This is hurting my
The
brain.
Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
I know that one.
You know, the Ravens
yeah.
just talk. The Ravens talk.
But I know that because
And vindictive.
I went to school in Baltimore, so I should probably know that one.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Ravens.
So he was
yeah.
kind of.
Mm.
I've been to the bar that he was supposed to be like the last place he was seen, which is the horse you came in
Oh,
on
that's awesome.
in Baltimore.
That is cool.
Not-
But the point is, Samantha Brentmore is doing the
Raven.
female in the book, and she also
As
has
we-
to do the voice of the bird.
Yeah, and on our podcast, she was like,
Why am I bringing
I know. I
structure
was
to
like,
this
look
right
at
now?
Steven
That's not my
over
job.
here. This is
Dang it.
Bringing
new.
us back.
No, because she was like, I was told I had to do a bird voice. She was like, what the fuck is a bird voice? She was like, is there going to be special
And I
effects?
was like, can you show us?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us the bird voice? She goes, no, I cannot. So we
Yeah,
didn't get
she
to
was
hear
like,
it.
absolutely
Okay.
not. And then she bullied Steven for straight up an hour. It was great. It was a good time.
Oh,
Yeah, it was awesome. Really,
Yeah,
it was
you're a
time.
good boy, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
Steven is
that
in
was
fact
kind of the path.
A good boy.
Settle down. Settle down, Danny.
Yeah.
No, I always thought it was humorous, maybe not silly, but humorous that women like to be called good girls, specifically by audiobook narrators. But then Samantha Brentmore called me a good boy on the podcast, and in that moment I was like, you know what? I think I get it.
You
now.
know what?
It makes sense to me. I feel warm inside, and something is happening to me. So,
the answer is
yeah.
that you just need a famous voice actor to do it, and it'll work every
Mhm.
time. So
That's the key.
I'm a words of affirmation guy, so that's
That
probably
makes sense.
why.
Oh. I have that book
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
here. It's behind me. Yeah, what's your love
Words
language?
of affirmation guy?
It's a good one.
Oh.
No, not that.
That's
no,
the title of a book?
no, the book is called
I have that
The-
on my shelf. I'm a words of affirmation guy. It's a great book.
I'm gonna write it just so you can, Steven. That's
No,
what I'm gonna
what's
do.
your love language, Steven? My God.
Yeah, it's words of affirmation, and I don't know. I was told that was all bullshit
I'm sure.
by
Yeah,
somebody who knew what they were talking about, seemingly.
maybe.
I've seen some validity.
There's
in
got to
it,
be
I
some
think.
truth to it, though.
Yeah, I
I
think
feel like there
there's-
has to be.
Yeah.
There's some psychological truth to that for sure. But yeah, I guess that leads us into who's your favorite character and why? And you can pick from the whole series, the whole Ruinous Love Trilogy.
Can Barbara be my
like-
favorite?
Yeah.
You're
Absolutely.
such a basic person. Okay, here's the thing. So people said this in the comments. I made a video about this book, and I was like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And I did like a whole thing about
That's
it.
a
And
great
people
review.
were saying, you didn't mention, thank you. You didn't mention Barbara. Everybody in the comments, you didn't mention Barbara. I'm like, Barbara was in there 3 times. You can't have a favorite character that was in there 3
It's
times.
a drug addict
Sure you
raccoon.
can.
It's the
Chad
best
was in
character.
there for like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
what Chad was
barely a
how much? He
chapter.
wasn't even mentioned 3 times.
That's a good
And you
point.
guys
It's not my favorite
totally-
character, though. It's the funniest
I don't
moment.
know if it's my favorite. I think
Okay.
it's just the whole scene is hilarious, but also the fact that she's really offended that he would be like, he was like, I'm sorry, I'll leave you to your man. And she's like, have you seen his tattoos? I could do better. Thanks. That's the whole scene. And then
Go back
Yeah.
to Barbara.
So Barbara's
I
your
like
Favorite
Barbara.
character.
I like Barbara.
fair.
You know,
Out of all
Codeine
3
addicted
books?
raccoon.
it's
Okay.
it's so ridiculous. Like it's a drug addicted raccoon. I mean, like, and the thing is, every time you think that she's not gonna be able to do something as equally as crazy as the previous book, she brings in something, and then it makes sense, and then it just like
It
just
like works.
yeah, it just works, which is nuts. No, I like Barbara.
Have you like
I like.
been around a raccoon before, like in real life? Besides
I've-
like the ones
I
in their
have.
trash cans.
I've been around it. My dad had
I
one
have.
as a pet. That was before I was born, but he did have
Yeah.
one as a pet, and he was like,
Yeah.
it was so nice and gentle, and then it hit full growth, and then it went insane, so we had to get rid of it. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. You can keep them as babies. They're very cute. My uncles and my brother and my family has raised them before, but they're very sweet. And then they get old, and then you can't really do anything with them. So you have to let them.
also
We've rescued 2 of them. They're pretty. Their paws. They're just no. They're cute.
They have
and they make
hands.
a sound-
Basically
and they make a lot of
hands.
sounds.
What
Yeah.
kind of sounds we talking? I don't know what kind of sounds a raccoon
They
makes.
make
Isn't
a
it like
lot
a
of
chittery
clicking
noise?
sounds. Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Also, the saddest video on the
Yeah,
internet
that's
is watching a raccoon try to wash cotton candy. If you've ever seen that, it's rough.
yes.
That's the saddest video.
Listen, it's
Calm
Steven.
down.
First off, do you know what a raccoon
It's
does
so
with food?
surprised.
Steven, do you know what it does?
Huh?
Raccoons wash their food. So
They do. They wash their food.
So the raccoon finds cotton candy, and you know what happens when you put cotton candy in water? It dissolves
Yes.
immediately.
No, tell me, physicist. Tell me
so
exactly
what happens,
what
is the raccoon gets cotton candy, and he's like, "Oh, look at this nice meal I've got. I'm gonna go wash it." And he puts it in there, and then he just stares at the water because it immediately dissolves. And then he's like,
Oh.
and then he does little taps in the water, like, "Come back," and it's so sad.
Yeah, forget. Yeah, you're so right. That is the saddest
It's so
video
sad.
ever.
It's-
man.
And now we know why Barbara is your favorite
Yeah,
character.
and then-
That's all coming to light.
There's Barbara, and then the raccoon, the meth raccoon. That was another video on the internet that was really. Brynne and I talked about it because I made a video, so a bunch of people talked to me raccoon stuff, and obviously she's her, so she got 100. But there's a woman who got arrested for doing meth, but there's a raccoon randomly.
Oh, yeah,
in
the
car,
raccoon in the chair.
and
Yeah,
then there's a
in her
raccoon in
She's
her
like in a-
car. Yeah, and and then they're like, and then the cop literally goes, "Up, the raccoon has the meth pipe." It's so ridiculous.
What?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can have
they're
I'm gonna
gonna
have to
trash
immediately look
all
this up
in
after.
the,
Did the
like,
raccoon
van
go
and
to jail
everything.
too? Just
It's
little
got the tiny
handcuffs?
handcuffs.
Did he wash the handcuffs? Was it sad?
It would have been sad if he tried to wash the handcuffs, but you can't eat handcuffs, and I think the raccoon's smart enough to know that, Steven.
I'm sure you've seen some edible handcuffs.
Oh,
You
wow.
specifically, Swimmer.
I don't think I've seen
I'm
edible
sure they definitely
handcuffs.
make
I like
those.
that idea, though.
You
You
had
know
to think
what?
about
Now
it.
I'm gonna look in.
Maybe we should do for the podcast.
You know what? That's what we're gonna do. You know what? I think it'd be funny for our podcast. We just didn't say anything, and I just randomly all of a sudden was just like,
Oh,
just
okay.
started-
That's on
It's an
brand. That's on
ASMR
brand.
podcast
Just me-
only. That's
just
all
me
it is.
chewing,
Just
just-
ASMR.
Oh yeah, that'd be really weird because all of ours are video. So if we
Oh.
like, if the
Yeah.
viewers or the people that can't see, if we started doing not, and they're like,
If
they
we
don't.
started just
What
doing
is that
audio.
sound?
Like ours, which a lot of people listen to.
Yeah.
They'd be like,
They do in fact make gummy cuffs, Steven, just in case you were curious. Ed Spencer gifts.
Gummy
I thought it was
cuffs. That's my
gummies.
nickname in
That
college.
tracks.
Gummy cuffs.
Yeah.
They make those, and then they make the like Pez kind of ones that are like, you know, they have the Pez necklace, but it's
Mhm.
handcuffs.
oh, okay.
I like the
That
gummy
doesn't
ones
seem
better,
very
but
strong.
no,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. And I'd be worried the little thing's gonna snap the whole time, but you know, I guess it's not really.
Is that good or bad? It depends.
I guess it
on the person.
depends. Depends. You know,
Well,
The
Steven,
mood.
who's your favorite
Alright.
character?
Yeah.
We've gone down
Come
the
on,
Barbara
get back
train.
on track here.
I think I really like. Who's the second brother? Book 2.
Lachlan.
Lachlan. I like Lachlan.
Budget Batman.
I also like Lark
Budget
too.
Batman. Like,
I like all the characters in that, but I even like the crazy preacher guy. I mean, he's a terrible character, but he adds so much to the story.
The
So
Phantom.
I'll probably
Phantom.
say that's my favorite book. Yeah. Actually, book 1's my favorite book, but book 2 is also my favorite book.
I think I liked.
So this is my least favorite book, actually, out of the 3.
okay.
But I think Lachlan's my favorite.
I could go with that. I think that it's second, and then first, and third on levels of my favorites.
Because book 1 has that initial shock value that pulls you in. You're
Yeah.
like, well, this
Yeah,
has
it's
to be my
very
favorite.
Dexter.
But book 2, I think, is a yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, book 1's very Dexter.
I just think the characters are really great, and the fact that she makes like furniture out of them. All of it was great.
Coffee table.
Yeah.
Coasters.
Glitter.
Or the
Snow globe.
vibrating musician was a good part
that's
in that
awesome.
book.
That was a great part.
That was hot.
That was a really good part in that book.
Me and Squamer talked about this on our podcast. Like that, I couldn't do that. Just actually sing and play, and also just it would not happen.
Just
At the end of book 2, by the way, y'all need to strap in for that epilogue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was something. Wait, so Lark and Lachlan, were they tied for you, Steven? What would we say?
Best male, I think. I think best female is probably Rose. Not Rose. Who's the first lady?
Sloane.
Sloane.
I like
thank you.
Sloane.
And then top
I think
dude is
Rose
probably
was just too
Lachlan.
frustrating for me because it's just like her lack of planning was so frustrating.
Yeah, it's just
Very much
Free
like
spirit
your
and just getting away
podcast
with
that
it.
you guys do. Is
You know
very
what?
much
That's
lack
fair,
of
but-
planning, right?
Wow.
We're not going to get
There you go,
arrested
Michelle.
when we go off the
I like
rails.
it.
Like, there's no point where it's like,
yeah.
Well,
We're
you
not
could.
killing
We're
people in the
not.
podcast. Other than IQ points, we're killing a lot of those.
I,
but
every
no
time I
people.
jump into
Painful,
a
medical,
stranger's vehicle.
Everything at risk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
pretty
fair.
unhinged and have no plans, but at no point did we end up in a river with a guy's eyes stapled open. So
The night
And
is
the beer,
young, though.
you can't
We have an event coming up
forget
this
the beer.
weekend, so perhaps that's the time.
that's true. You know what? That's when we're going to start. Let's keep Steve. I want to make sure to keep Steven away from staple guns is all I'm hearing from this.
Yeah.
Listen,
That was
So-
graphic too.
we've we've talked about your favorite characters and graphic moments. What about your favorite couples? Get it together, Steven. Favorite couple.
Favorite couples are the first couple.
Really?
And I know that
You like the other two characters better in the second, but
No, I like Sloane.
But you
and I
liked-
like Lachlan. I
you
like
like
the
Sloane
first two
and
people
Rowan
together,
together.
though.
Ah.
I mean, freaking Rowan wears a dragon costume at the end of Scythe
that
and
is
Sparrow.
true.
They're the best.
I think
I thought they were the best too.
they were awesome, and they were. I think that was the first slow burn romance I had read yet. Like doing book, like
It wasn't.
it
that.
felt so
No.
slow. It felt so slow because
It's like half a book.
He fell for her in like the second chapter.
Yeah, but it was like they
He was
both.
And
literally
she fell for
talking
him
about-
in the
But they
third
just
chapter.
both like each other, and they don't act on it for half the damn
No,
book.
they don't hook up for like 4 years.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just like,
The book is like this.
you know
big.
what? It was still
not like it's a
frustrating
freaking
to me. All
work
right?
of Tolkien or something.
Because honestly, it was so obvious that like I know that's the point, but I was like, oh my god, just get together and love each
Because
other.
no, it's a strategy. It's an
like
author
it.
strategy. You don't want him to do it in the beginning. Then you're like, well, what is there to wait for? All right, you put the book
But
down, then that defeats the purpose of picking up the book.
Well, I think that's true, but I also
I
think
like
that
it.
these two characters were really they have a lot of fucking trauma, both of these characters. And Sloane specifically really like introvert is like an understatement. I mean, the only time she's getting out is to go, do her orb weaver stuff. So it's not like she's like out and about making friends and the only friend she has is Lark, so he knows this about her and it's romantic. Guys, come on. It's romantic. It takes time.
I liked
I
it.
agree with
I liked
you.
it.
That's true, but I still don't like it. Like, yeah, I mean, do I agree with your point? Yes. Do I think it's a good story because of it? Yes. But the whole time I'm like, oh my God, just just love each other. And then you get to
One
the
part
end
that-
where it's like, oh, he takes her phone and they're pretending that like they think that like actually it's her breaking up with him. And right? Is that how that happens?
Mhm.
And then he was like, I knew it. And I'm like, you don't know anything. Come on. You should know by now something's up. So that.
Two things piss me off about that book, though, with
Oh.
their relationship. They acquire a man. That's stupid. Don't take that guy home. And
Yeah.
then number two,
true.
whenever he just drives to her house or flies to her house and then phone calls her from the yard as she cooks food. Is this the same book? Now,
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same book.
Blanking on this.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And he's explaining how to make a meal as he's watching from a distance, like a weird. Just go to the front door and knock on it, and then make the food together. That pissed me off too.
But
That's
she
funny,
like
'cause I
she
found
like
that romantic.
to her defense, if he like knocked on the door, she could have like quickly like just stabbed him. Be like, why the fuck are you in my house? So because they're both
I
serial
don't think she's
unalivers.
that stupid.
No,
I mean, she
but
did-
don't-
Yeah,
Knock, knock,
but like,
stab.
that's Lou.
I don't know. They both kill people. So
Yeah.
There's also a thing called a
For
peephole,
funsies.
perhaps, or a window. You could.
It
check
was
who's
stalker
in.
romantic stalker. Sure,
It wasn't quite Josh vibes, but
No.
it was stalkish.
one day,
One day.
you'll get.
Squamer is really good at stalking people.
Oh man, the
Just the eyebrow.
no comment. I don't know what to say to that. Sometimes I'm just like, Steven, where are we going? I don't know. We're on this.
I don't even know.
I-
Sometimes what's that Michael Scott line? I sometimes just start talking and then I don't know where it's going, and I just hope it works out in the end.
Fair.
I have nope. Anyways, so
Favorite couple.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Favorite
I probably agree with Steven. I think the first one.
Okay.
I don't know. Lachlan and Sloane are great too. I don't know. I like them
Yeah.
for different reasons. I think they're both all.
Lachlan and Lark.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Lachlan and Lark. I think I
That
like
would be
them.
a fan fiction.
That would be.
That would be a fan fiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here for that. I don't ship them. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think they're like different. I really like them as couples, but for different. They're very different couples, which is weird because the brothers
Yeah.
all have very similar
Mhm.
personalities
No,
to
they
an
don't.
extent. I feel like they do a little bit. They're all dark and broody and angry Irishmen, but
They have similar
fair.
trauma.
I think it's I guess it's better
yeah.
like if they act like brothers. Like they might not be similar, but they have the similar origin story makes them.
I like how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like they talk to each other
They're
how
just
I would think
assholes.
brothers talk to each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're complete dicks to each other. The shit flicker in book 1,
Calling people
where
belly.
Yeah.
he's like, "What's his nickname?" And Fionn's like, make him say his nickname. Shit flicker. I was dead. I was like, that's fucking great.
Yeah. And then shows up in the
Yeah.
dragon costume, and then he's like, I didn't know it wouldn't come off.
Dumpster goblin.
I don't talk to my brother that way. I don't think. I'm trying to think. I need to be meaner to
You got
him.
room for improvement.
I know. I guess I need
There
to be
you go.
meaner to him, though. That's what I get. I mean, he's also
That's what the
freshly an
moral of the
adult,
story
so
is. That's,
Oh, okay.
that's
Yeah.
a good way to build his character. So
yeah, start
know.
calling him, being mean to him. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna start doing. He just went to college,
I
so
don't
you
feel
know.
like they're mean though. They're like
Your mom goes to
playfully
college.
mean, you know? I think they just like fuck around with each other, not actually being mean. That's how I took it anyway.
Yeah, my
Although
whole family, when
Lachlan's-
we get together, we're just throwing jabs, and it's all in love, and then we
Yeah.
leave bleeding. So
And then we go
Exactly.
home and cry. 'Cause that one hurt.
no, if you're not getting made fun of in my family, you're not loved, basically.
Well, my mom loves you, so
okay.
I know she does. I said that weird, and I didn't mean to.
yeah, that's okay.
Moving on.
So which food was ruined for you because of this series?
None. I've watched Fear Factor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I was
that
raised on
tracks.
that. I didn't
I had
care.
nothing.
Like they were like, "Oh,
Okay.
the ice cream is so gross." You can't ruin me with a book. It's just not going to
Nah,
happen. Words cannot.
I
ruin
wasn't
me.
really
Okay.
phased by some of them. I mean, the only thing I was thinking the entire time is like, they're like, oh, I'm going to eat the cotton candy out of there. I was like, she's getting a UTI. So that's for sure. Like, there's no, that pH balance is sensitive and that's a
Yeah.
lot of sugar. That's not going to work. And on top of that, they do it and she doesn't immediately wash out. They go and do it again. I'm like, you're just shoving that down further. You're a doctor, sir.
That is kind of gross.
You need to like be aware. Like, no. Mm-mm.
That's a problem with this whole genre though. Is like that's like a bone that I pick with the whole genre is that there's often not a shower or cleanup, and I'm like, what? It takes 2 seconds. Write it in.
Yeah.
Write it
That's
in.
movies too. Like they
Come
just get
on.
done banging and then they roll over and like, oh, there's nothing. You just coming
Let's
air.
smoke
Is that
a
what's happening
cigarette.
right
like,
now?
I don't know. Come on.
Yeah.
Like what?
There's nothing to clean up. No.
Unrealistic. Setting everyone up for
Yeah.
failure. And there were people who were commenting when we talked about this before, and they're like, "Oh, it's implied, and it like takes away from the storytelling." I'm like, "How does it take away from asking for it to be there?" I feel like that means like it adds to the story. It doesn't take it away. Like I don't.
I mean, he
You know what
is
I mean?
a
That- I don't-
doctor, so I feel like he should be like, yeah, this
Right.
is gonna mess up some stuff down there. Like maybe here,
YOLO.
drink some,
YOLO.
yeah, just YOLO, yeah. Here's some meds.
Have you read From Blood and Ash?
I have.
Yes.
Have y'all?
I haven't.
Yes.
Okay, there's a scene in one of the books, maybe book 2 or book 3, where they kill somebody and she turns to dust like Voldemort at the end of freaking movie 8 or whatever. And then they have sex around the dust. And I'm like,
fine.
none of this is sanitary. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's gross. Who would do anything like
But
that?
what I'm saying is, see, that's exactly my point, Steven. You just brought up another whole series where this type of stuff happens, and I'm like, you know, it take what 2
And that's
sentences?
what's ruining this country.
We get
is
the-
these things like this.
2 says you could just throw this in.
Well,
Just saying, just throw it in here.
I mean, they do. He did.
And they cleaned up real quick, and then it doesn't read very well. Maybe that's the
oh,
problem.
maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And then he grabbed a rag. You'll never hear that.
Actually, they do in a lot of them, but it's usually the dark romance stuff because it's supposed to be like
They do in the dark romance
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
the super
They do,
dark
actually.
romance stuff
do they?
because they like it's
Mhm.
supposed to imply the sensitivity
I wouldn't
after.
know.
Like they did in Lights Out. I'm pretty sure he like cleans up.
I just got
That's
done
all
reading Den of Vipers, and they did in that too.
I-
There was definitely
I tried to do Den of Vipers, but again, I only do audiobooks. And the super thick, is he Scottish? I can't remember the accent.
English, maybe.
I don't know. Either way, he had like a super thick accent for the audiobook, which makes sense for the character. But then as soon as he said cock weird, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I-
How do you say it? How do you
He's
say it?
like, he's got like a Cockney accent. So I was like, I'm feeling me cock through my pants. And I'm like, oh, nope. Nope. Absolutely not. I cannot listen to an entire book like this.
Hey,
I'm like, is it accurate to the
new
character?
accent
For
unlocked
sure.
for Squamer.
Yeah, he was like, oh, it makes, and I'm like, I can't take him seriously at all. And I'm like, nope. I mean, it probably is great. The voice acting is probably great. I got pat like 2 sentences in. I'm like, nope.
I'm gonna
Alright.
text him now.
I feel like audiobooks are like that though. You for me too, because if you start one and the audio is not like good, I would much rather I'll switch to my Kindle or like the physical book right away.
Yeah.
Like I won't waste my time like continuing if the audio is if it's not a hit.
I've had a
If
few.
it doesn't hit well.
Yeah.
The
Assistant to the Villain was like that for me. It
Okay.
was a hard listen.
I
So
read
sped
that.
it up to,
I
like,
read the Kindle.
1.8.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
And I was like,
the
okay,
Ravenhood
can't take
series.
this
I don't know if
tone
anybody's
out of it.
read.
All right. You have to cast the movie. So now you're gonna cast Sloane, Rowan, Lark, Lachlan, Rose, and Fionn. who are you casting for them? And if you can't think of all of them at once, that's fine. But who are you going to cast? Because the movie is coming out. Wait, I don't know when. Did Brynne tell you when the movie's coming out? I would love to know that.
She did not. They haven't really even like.
Okay.
It's not soon.
It's like in infancy stages,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say,
I
from
don't
my
even know if they have
understanding,
the
it was
cast
not
and
soon.
stuff yet. Like, I think it's a while away. Who are you casting?
I'm gonna have to look up the.
I don't know any new actors.
I know, I'm like-
So we have 3 friends that I'd cast for the chicks though. Maury would be Lark.
Okay.
MJ would be Rose, and then Tommy would be Sloan. And you don't know who those people are, but they're cosplay friends of ours that go to events.
And they
stuff.
do the 3 of them. That's
Do you have
why
their pictures? Can we see pictures? Can
I'm
you
gonna
show
find
us?
the.
They've done skits as those characters.
Hang on, I'm
Oh.
looking it up. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah. So shout out to them.
Okay.
Maury, Tommy, and MJ.
Let's see if we can. There it goes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I like it.
They're actually with us this weekend as other characters in the ball.
Yeah, they'll be the 3.
Folks who are listening, we'll show this clip.
Oh
so you
yeah,
can come
sorry,
back and
forgot
see
about that. I don't know how to be like.
Boom.
They're people. I don't know. I'm never gonna. Yeah.
They have ears and a
They
face.
they do some things. They're all very talented. They're much better cosplayers than we are.
I'm trying to think about the dudes though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
who
mean,
would you
Eric
cast
Nolan
for
would be at
them?
least one of them, but I'm not sure which one. See, that's the thing
Okay. That's a good one.
because
I mean, you need somebody Irish.
he is
so-
he is. That's the point.
No, I'm just piggybacking off of that for the other characters.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he'd probably be. I feel like he's the big. He's huge, so I'd probably think Clint's the biggest, right?
Lachlan?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he does voice him, so I would pick.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not very good at this.
I don't know any actors.
I was like,
anymore.
I
don't
couldn't even
watch
tell you an
movies very
Irish
often.
actor, to be honest with you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna Google Irish, see if I can like Irish actors, and then
Oh.
when someone comes up, I'm gonna be like, this dude. Oh wow, none of these are good options for these people. This is
People can
I-
have Irish
that's
accents.
true,
They can
but
just-
I was
they can
curious.
Make it up.
I like Tom Hardy as Lachlan.
Ooh, I could
Like,
see
I
that.
feel like I could see him.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't know who
You
Tom
don't know
Hardy
Tom
is.
Hardy?
Bane?
I don't know anything about modern movies, so I don't know anybody's name. I don't care. So okay,
Tom
let me look it
Hardy?
up. Maybe I know
oh
the
my
face.
god.
Maybe I know the
You-
face, but I don't know who that is.
You've got to know who Tom
Let's
Hardy
see.
is.
I guess I could.
Tom
I was
Hardy.
picturing specifically an outlaw when he was like in that movie with Shia LaBeouf. Where
Yeah,
he's
I don't
wearing,
know
like,
who.
all
I've
the
never
big
seen a
Yeah.
movie with this
You've
guy. in it.
never seen a movie with Tom Hardy. I'm upset for you now.
Richard Madden, he was in Game of Thrones. He was the
Did you watch Game of
oldest
Thrones,
son.
Steven?
Did we watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but I don't know anybody's name.
Red
he was
Wedding
the oldest
guy.
son for the Red Wedding.
Oldest Stark son.
Just from looking at him, I picture him as.
Oh, the one that died at the Red Wedding.
Yes.
I googled
That one.
it. Honestly, I picture him.
For-
He's not very
Playing-
big though.
He's
No.
tall. He's not tall.
He is 5'10",
I don't know.
because I.
Oh, so is that
Richard
tall
Madden?
Squamer? Let me know if that's tall Squamer.
I mean, that's shorter than me. So for
wow.
once,
He's 5'11" and
5'11"
3/4.
honestly, I picture him as more Fionn. Honestly, when I look at a picture of him,
Okay.
I don't know why.
Oh.
That sounds like a car driving by.
Fionn.
yeah.
All right.
You think Tom Hardy as Lachlan is like
That makes
top
sense.
tier? I think that would work. And
How
he's the
about
oldest
Tom
brother.
Selleck? That's more my movie references. Tom Selleck. That'll be a character.
He's
I
not.
know
I don't
that
think I'd pick
person.
Tom
He's
as-
way too old.
Yeah. Also,
I would
even
not, I'm
younger.
just giving
like
you-
he's Magnum PI. I can't imagine him also being an Irish. He looks very like British.
I was just using a Tom
feel
that I
like-
actually know.
I feel like one of the brothers should be like a no-name though, like someone we've never, like a no-name actor who's like up and coming. It would make sense
Like
if
Tom Hardy?
Fionn was.
I've never heard of him.
Wow. No, not
Wow.
not like Tom Hardy.
Oh my god. Tom Hardy's gonna show up and kick his ass at an event now, and this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
him.
what he's gonna do.
He's probably not like that.
He's gonna do it.
And then
You don't
Michelle
know
had
who I
mentioned.
am?
Michelle had
I like
mentioned when we were
Cillian
talking like
Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like Cillian Murphy too, but I feel like Cillian Murphy's too old for this. But
he's-
you know who he could play? He would be a really excellent Leander.
Leander. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yes.
That definitely makes sense. He can play an unhinged person. That's like, yeah.
Quite well.
Yeah, quite well. Quite well.
But
Also,
I think Brynne likes him, so I feel like she'd make him like attractive, and Cillian Murphy definitely fits the bill for
That
that.
is true.
So I feel like that would work.
I honestly, I just pictured Dexter, the guy that plays Dexter for Rowan. That's because when everybody asked me what Butcher and Blackbird is, I was like, imagine Dexter, but it's a couple, and that's basically the first book.
You know, I
Not
first
wrong.
thought I was. I thought
But
I
funnier.
was sure. I was sure that Brynne Weaver took inspiration from the Boondock Saints because they're also Irish. And I asked her with confidence, "Oh, you got that from the Boondock Saints?" And she was like,
She's like,
"No,
never
not
even
at
heard
all."
of that.
She never
Really?
heard of it.
I think she had heard of
Wow.
it, but she
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
have anything to do with it.
Yeah, she was like, hard no.
Okay.
She said she saw it like one time and if she already forgot.
Yeah. He was like, I'm
Yeah.
certain she used this. And I'm like, okay, buddy, ask her.
We hadn't had the opportunity yet to interview Carissa Broadbent, but, you know, she writes vampire books. Somebody asked her if she was inspired by, like, reading Twilight at a younger age or something like that. And she's like, no, I've never read any of the Twilight books. I wasn't inspired by that at all. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it tracks because, well, it's the same principle. I was like, oh, she's surely, like, this is only, like, a global phenomena of vampire books, right? Like, if you're writing vampire books, you would think had no...
Yeah.
She's like, no, I've never read those. That had nothing to do. But to be fair, her vampires are more like underworld vampires and that type of deal, much darker.
That's
so
a good show. Good
not
movie.
any close to. No,
No,
not sparkly.
They're not sparkly.
Yeah.
Aiden Snow plays the vampire for him, and I really like his voice in that for the audio book
Smash.
for that.
Which one?
Serpents. And,
Serpent?
Yeah.
On the Wings of Night.
Yeah.
I have that book. I haven't
It's
read
pretty
it,
good.
though.
You should read it. It's good.
Also, at one point, I'm pretty sure I talked to Carissa Broadbent by accident and then didn't realize who it was at a Polycon
Oh.
like a couple years ago or last year, I guess. And I was talking to her, or I said something about her because I was like, oh, she's like a cutesy little lady. She's nice. And I was like, oh, she's adorable. And then she went and walked in front of her stand and I was like, oh, that's Carissa Broadbent's stand. And then they started interviewing. I was like, oh, that's Chris. Oh, okay. Well, I said something off, like just like hi or something like that because
You didn't like just to know who she
nope,
was.
didn't know
I
because
thought
like
she was just
it's
hanging
hard.
out at the event.
Yeah, because like, well, I mean, I went to a few author events from that, but it's hard to like, you don't want to bend down and look at their name tag because it's like stomach height. So I'm not like, oh, okay.
Where are
For
your
those
eyes
listening,
going, sir?
he's leaning all the way
Yeah,
forward.
I forget.
to
I can't do
look
that.
at someone's navel.
See, I'm gonna be a terrible podcaster when we move to only audio, Steven.
No, we could still do the video of
Okay,
it.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Because Spotify, well, I guess not on iTunes.
Yeah, see,
Or iTunes, Apple Music, whatever the hell it's
They
called.
don't-
On the record
Is
player.
iTunes
We
still
can't do it on the
around?
record player. Turn on the radio.
There's an iTunes
Gather round for
app.
the Smash Guys.
there's
see?
an iTunes app still.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
on your Mac.
For people like
I
me,
guess.
see?
50s announcers saying yeah.
There we
So so I've met, and then there's like
That's
several
cool.
authors at the Apollo kind of just stared at, like JLA. I was like, she's here.
You saw
I
JLA?
saw
That's
her.
not
I didn't
creepy.
talk to her. I just
Yeah. Just awkwardly
Yeah.
looked over at
Oh,
her.
we're going to interview her next month.
yeah,
What?
Awesome.
How is the podcast going?
it's going good.
It's going.
Every week we try to find. We've had some good connections. Corvin so far is still our most popular episode. Corvin King
Okay.
Obvious reasons.
with his insanely just mesmerizing voice, and
It's okay.
That was the
Okay.
growl. You guys
It's
were
the-
trying to like talk about the
Oh my
growl and
gosh.
how
Yeah.
to do
the
that.
dude's voice is raspy. It's unfair.
I can't do it.
Yeah. So more.
Your face. That was a joke. It wasn't a real growl. Being silly.
Yeah.
What?
So we need to
Uh.
finish the circle though. We've now done Brynne Weaver, and then we need to finish with all of the voice actors. So I've talked to Eric Nolan, but he's like 6 hours ahead of us, and we record at 9 at night. So it's
Oh.
like, hey, do you want to get up at 4
Yeah.
in the morning and talk to us on a podcast? No, he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah. My favorite ones are where we just kind of go off and it's just us and we just don't care.
About poop.
Yeah.
You don't like it?
I think it's good. I think we need to. What I've said is
The
that
truth
we
comes
need.
out.
I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah. No, I don't like
Live
I don't like Steven.
on the air.
I think it's.
I'm going to become a host of this podcast
You know what?
now.
Come on.
He's just
Moving
gonna show up. He's permanent now. I get my own podcast. I'm just gonna talk by myself. Just me and by
Oh.
myself. No, I like it.
Go on.
Lonely.
No, what were you saying?
No, I think it's good, but I think I like doing it like 1 week where it's just the two of us, and then 1 week where it's like we have a guest, and it's so if you want just the pure chaos with no structure, you get that, and then you get like okay, this is at least
for
a
one.
little bit structured, yeah. In the next one,
Okay.
I think the best episode we've done is still the We Build a Book Boyfriend episode.
that was your favorite.
I think it was the funniest.
I think we were exhausted. I don't remember why we were.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's... And that was where the ping pong
That
table
was-
thing. Nobody's going to get these references because they never
Were
seen
they?
it, but, yeah.
Was that the one after Des Moines? Is that why?
Well, because you guys travel, right?
It was after, yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
travel together. You guys are still doing the balls, right?
Yeah.
You're just going to the different. What was your most recent?
It was after. Mine was last weekend. It was in Ohio at the. I forget the name of the ball, but it was Enchanted Realms Company was the name of the company. It was a good time. I played Cassian, or for copyright purposes, I played Smashian, and that was
got it.
fun. So
Yeah, my last ball was with Steven. It was in Des Moines. That was
Iowa.
That was June-ish. It's been a while. I haven't had a ball in a while. So
yeah, June.
no.
Okay.
No,
July. That's right. I was like, it was
July.
It was after that. July. It was a good time. We had fun. Steven and I.
What's on deck? Yeah, go ahead.
We have Danville, Virginia this weekend. It is our.
You guys went there, right? Didn't you go there last year?
Yes, this year
Or
actually.
Was it last year? Oh
earlier
yeah.
this
She
year.
turned right back around. I think it was March. She was like, "This went great."
It was it was great for her town and her business. So she was like, let's do
Yeah.
it again.
Oh, awesome.
One of the things she
She
says.
got like 12 tickets
Yeah,
left.
the small town doesn't get a lot of visitors because it doesn't really have like a major draw. It brings a ton of people to the town of Danville, and that just helps the small businesses, including hers because she owns a bookstore.
And she's one of the sweetest
She's
people
so sweet.
ever.
Her name's Catherine. She's such a nice lady. So she owns a tea shop
excited.
and a bookstore, and we get to do the meet and greet. The meet and greet part's free, so sometimes people do come just to see us.
That's the best part.
Steven likes the meet and greets.
You don't?
I know I like them. I don't know if I'm.
You get all into it and lean over people and everything.
Oh,
Last
I
time,
was like,
that lady was like,
what?
"Can you do the book boyfriend
I-
lean?" And you were like,
I
"Yeah, I
did do
can.
the-
Give me $50."
There's
Oh.
She didn't charge
there
you.
is a person that
Okay.
did the book boyfriend lead. It was okay because she was short enough that I could like full above her and still not even be close to her. So I was like, this is fine. If a tall person asks me to do this, I'm gonna be like,
No.
Yeah, he said no whenever I asked him, but
yeah,
whatever.
because
Aw,
how would I
sorry,
even do that,
Steven.
Steven? Bend over, Steven. Bend over. I'm gonna lean over this
Jesus.
That's a
bookshelf.
different kink.
Yeah.
This is getting crazy now.
So yeah, we. Get to
I
do
think
that.
we've all become too comfortable. Like this is what Steven's
that
fifth
what it
time on
is?
this show. And now he's just like
Yeah.
he's in the living room with his feet propped up. He's just saying whatever
Yeah.
comes to mind.
Not
and
visible though.
Yeah.
We know what happens when your feet are visible.
You make
For
a lot of
free?
money. That's what
Not
happens.
around here.
Yeah.
for free.
And then
Hey, y'all keep asking me, so this is your fault.
yeah,
We love having you.
Steven, what other events do you have this year? Because they asked us what was on dock, and I was
Yeah.
trying to remember what else
Do you want me to tell you all
for
of
the
them? I have,
year.
like,
How many
7
more do you have?
Dang.
I think I have like 7 more.
I have
Let me look.
3 more.
The year's
Dang,
almost
dude.
over.
Yeah,
I know.
Is it?
That's the thing.
I have.
Ah, that's crazy
I've
too.
got. Okay, we've got. Let's see. Night of Mount Olympus.
This
That's
weekend.
in Danville, Virginia. This weekend. I've got Night of Enchanted Realms.
And do you
That's
just dress
in-
us up for like all of these? Like how does that
It just
Yeah?
depends. Night of Enchanted Realms is in Dalton, Georgia on September 27th. I'm casting again. Then October 11th, I'm in the UK for the Mythical Memories Ball.
Oh,
And then
fun.
October
That's awesome.
October 17th, I'm in Dallas, Texas. And the very next day, I'm in San Francisco for a different ball. And then November 8th, I'm in Billings, Montana for the Court of Nightmares Ball.
Good lord, dude.
That's
Yeah.
busy.
Okay.
And then
it is
2026, I already have, let's see, I'm not going to name them all, but I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lined up.
Jeez.
for next year?
Up to June.
Wow. That's awesome.
I think I have
That's great.
2.
How are you managing?
Yeah. How
That's
are
a
you
lot.
managing
You
all
have
that?
the podcast. You have
I have a
this, you have
spreadsheet. I have a
life.
You
I
work
have more stuff
full-time?
on
You're a
the books,
dad?
too.
Your dad,
Yeah, I
your
run
husband?
an anxiety, so it's
Yeah,
pretty
how's that
easy
going?
to get
Oh
everything
yeah,
done.
no,
I've
I
run on
understand
anxiety.
that.
But I'm having a great time with it. I didn't think I'd be doing this, but it's a lot
You
of
didn't
fun.
think you would be doing 15 events a year, maybe more at this point?
No, because the first one I was supposed to do was in Columbus, and then I had a bunch more before that came in after I accepted that one, and now I'm starting to charge more to where it actually is worth it for me to travel. But before I was like, give me like $5 and a ride home, it'll be great, because I thought I was only gonna do like 1 or 2. It wasn't that little, but I'm being facetious. But now I'm trying to charge more, so where it becomes some sort of lucrative thing.
Awesome.
As it should be, because that's a lot. That's a lot to travel. It's a lot to be away from your family and go to these events and be part of that. So that makes sense to me that
Yeah.
you got to make it worth the time to do it. Yeah.
I have
great,
a cool
though.
looking resume if I ever make one. It'll be like, I go to balls, I can do these things.
Yeah,
Hire
the
me.
conventions are the ones that I feel like I make the most. I don't make any money, but I make the most connections with, just because you get to run into so many authors and things like that. So a Polycon next year, I'm going to. They told me I get full access, like author level access. I'm excited about that. I get to hang out with Brynne. Brynne will be there. So
Awesome.
Callie's not going, which makes me sad. But I'm hanging out with her for the Brimstone release. So that'll be fun.
Oh, in New York?
I want to do
Awesome.
that. How you getting there? You're
I'm driving. She just told me she'd give me some tickets. So me and Nikki are going, and Nikki lives there, so I'm gonna stay with her. So
I want to go.
Well,
Steven
I
feels excluded.
can't fly you out there.
Aw.
So if you want to pay for a flight, and
no, I'm not saying you fly.
You know
me out
what,
there,
Steven?
Even though you're a rich physicist, you're my sugar
I'm
daddy, or at least
friggin'
you could be if you wanted
or, I
to
don't know what you're talking about.
be. No, I would like to go. I don't know.
You can reach out to her, but I'm probably gonna hang out with her and Julie on Sunday, the night before. That's the plan.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Julie's
love
awesome.
Julie. She's a fun time. New York Bookworm, I think, is her handle. She's fun. So yeah, no, I think
look that up.
the conventions are fun. I only have 3. I have Mount Olympus, the Gauntlet, and I have Book Boyfriend. So the Gauntlet was my first one ever last year. So this is a full circle. I was a nothing creator, and now I'm the main creator for the event. So kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Kind of cool. Yeah. And then I get to see the Fantasy Fangirl podcast. Lexi and Nicole, I get to hang out with them. They're super fun. And then I'm hanging out with the voice of Tiernan for Fourth Wing. He's there too.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Awesome. Where is that one at?
Yeah.
Michigan. It's in Boyne Falls. It's at a ski resort.
Boing?
Boyne, B-O-Y-N-E. Boyne.
Oh, that was like boing, like boing, boing.
Boyne.
boing.
No, it's a ski resort because the Gauntlet is a course, so it's on the ski.
Right.
Yeah, on the hill.
Right.
Got it.
So it's fun. And then Book Boyfriend, I get to go be the ugliest person hired at the Book Boyfriend event. So
So stupid.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly why they hired you.
I'm the personality hire for once.
Look at this ugly piece of shit.
Honestly, I was like, listen, I
Didn't
can never say
happen.
for certain I was the personality, but this one time, the personality, I was telling my mom after my mom was like, God, Steven's so handsome. But after I was like showing, I was like, yeah, I'm going to the Book Boyfriend. She was like, with models? I was like, yeah. And she was like, I want to see. So I look up, she was like, those are certainly models. And I was like, yes, they are, Mom. Thanks. She was like, and she's scrolling through, and she's always like, he's handsome. And then we get to, every single time, we get to Callum, and she's like, whoa. And I was like, yeah, I know. But you know what? She was like, oh yeah, where's he from? I was like, Australia. She's like, he has an accent? And I was like, yes, he has an accent, Mom. So every time I show everybody.
So is your mom
good
going?
taste.
Is your mom?
We
mom
love
is
a
your
supportive
+1 to
mom.
this
My
event
mom,
now?
Yeah.
It's every time I mention Book Boyfriend and I show everybody the models, it's always Callum. They're always like, oh, he's handsome. And I was like, all right.
We love a supportive mom. So this is good. This
Yeah.
is good.
My mom has told me, she was like, oh, well, because, I write my little smut stories. And my mom's like, oh, I read 50 Shades of Grey. I would like to read one. I was like, it's worse. She was like, it's worse? I was like, it's worse. Let's not read them, Mom. Thanks for checking.
It's 50 Shades of
Also,
Squay.
how awkward.
Mer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
That'd
think
be so weird.
she has an idea in her head of what it would be like. And I was like, so that's worse. Don't do that. Nope. She blocked me on everything except for our podcast. She watches the podcast, but other than that, she has me blocked on everything.
Well, she's not that supportive.
Well, it's because
I
she was
mean-
like, she read a few of the comments, was
She's
like,
going to be
"Ooh."
traumatized.
Yeah.
That's
by
like her baby boy,
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is she?
I feel like, yeah.
what is
Wearing
she
the
s-
mask and
That
everything.
would be difficult to read.
Yeah.
No, but I
she-
feel like it would be difficult to read the comments and stuff for that, like of your own child. Like that would, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, she told me, she was like, listen, I know you're a good looking fella. And I was like, yeah. She's like, but the comments are just, and I was like, yeah. And she was like, couldn't do it, blocked. I was like, thanks, Mom. So,
Yeah.
All right. That was
That's
me
adorable.
tangenting. Did you guys have more questions?
Professionals.
That
We did.
Yeah, go for
We
it.
were going to play Fuck, Marry, Kill, which I feel like this was a nice segue into that
Oh, sweet.
anyways. So I feel like it works. So you can choose if you want to do, I guess we'll go Sloan, Lark, Rose.
Or if you want to include the
Back
brothers.
back to you.
You
We
know?
can include the brothers too.
Well,
We
hang
can
on.
do all
let me-
6.
we
I'm
can-
not.
I think we
I'm
could
not
do.
here to tell you.
I would do.
Rowan, Lachlan, Fionn. You can do both. We can do.
Well,
We can.
well, why
I
don't we
can
do
mix it
one
up.
of
I can be
each?
like
do.
Sloan, Lachlan, Fionn. Like however you want to do it.
I'm killing Rose. She's
Yeah,
got a bum leg.
I'm killing Rose because
okay?
she stresses me out too much. I can't.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I'm going to marry Lachlan.
It just made me laugh. He's like, I'm killing her because of
And
her
I'm going
leg.
to have a good time with Sloan. Yeah. I'm going to have a good
You're
time with
marrying
Sloan. I'm
Lachlan?
going to marrying Lachlan. Yeah. Not Lachlan. What's her name? Lark.
I would have.
I was going to say, is it the leather making that does
I
it
would've-
for you?
I know.
with
It's like.
Lachlan?
I would've-
Is it the leather? What are
I would.
I mean, the
I would marry
muscles,
Lachlan out of
it's
the
probably
boys.
cozy.
But go ahead,
Yeah.
Christina.
I would. I think it would be kill Rose. I like how his is like she has a bum leg, which is like the worst
I mean, I'm not.
reason.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
I'm
not
not going to have a
dealing
good
with
time
that.
with her. So
No, I think
Wow.
marry Sloan.
this is a fantasy.
and
Can I
then-
be in my fantasy?
I think I'd marry
Yeah,
Sloan.
you
and
can.
then
we
fuck-
listen and we don't judge. I
Lark.
thought.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're
No,
judging.
I'm judging you for your
I don't wanna play
petty
anymore.
ass reasons. It'll
It's not a
heal,
real person.
Steven. It eventually will heal.
No.
It does heal the end
No,
of the
it- not
book.
in-
He's like,
Yeah.
nope, I'm not dealing with that. He's like,
The number you have reached has been disconnected.
hey, you see that girl over there? The one with a broken leg? Gross. You know, who wants to deal
Kill
with
her.
that?
All right, fine.
Out.
You know what? Fuck you. Okay, that's what I say. That's who I am. Yeah, that's who I am.
Anyways, no. So I think it would. Yeah. So.
Oh my god.
Who did you pick? You didn't pick all
Oh,
yours
it's
yet.
I'd kill Rose.
You still are gonna
I'm
kill
still
Rose.
gonna
so
kill
just
Rose
yelling at me
because
like
she
I'm the
stresses
problem.
me out and just like does craziness all. Her lack of planning stresses me out.
All right.
But Sloane, marry Sloane and then fuck Lark. I think.
Okay, what about the boys? The way I
What
said
about
that.
what about the
boy?
boys, dude?
Okay, I'm killing Fionn because I don't like him. I'll just get that out of
Oh,
the way. I think
well,
he's
he's a doctor.
the worst brother.
Okay.
He's annoying. I don't like him. I'm gonna
Yeah,
marry
he just
Lachlan,
like doesn't grow up.
And I'm gonna
Come on,
he's just.
Fionn.
I'm gonna marry
does not grow
Lachlan
up. And go ahead.
and I'm gonna have a good time. Actually, I think I may marry Rowan and then I'll just bang it out with Lark.
Lachlan.
Lachlan. I keep messing up the names.
That last chapter got you then with that one. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be wearing it. I'm not taking it.
Oh my
Just gonna
God.
put that out there.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. That was
You wanted
fun.
to play this game. Don't make me
I
the
sh-
problem. I answer your questions, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, why is wrong with him?" You know
I
what?
heard
You know what? We have argued.
I'm
on
standing
it.
by
we
my
have
answers.
argued who's the bottom.
I'm
and
gonna stand
who's
by
the
my
top.
Phoebe Squamer said what is wrong with you. I didn't say that.
I was wrong with you on the.
listening.
It's good
I was saying
It's
what's
good
wrong
for
with
the
you on the
podcast.
bum leg thing because it seems like the pettiest reason.
When I put this in here, I was like, this is going to be fun. I didn't realize it was going to be this fun, but I'm happy with
It's
the
okay.
result of this question. Yeah.
We got into an argument on who's the bottom and who's the top out of the relationship of the two of us. So
Oh, okay.
Okay. How'd that turn out?
Yeah,
we
what was the
disagreed.
result of that?
We
I'm not gay, so it would be neither.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely
that's fine.
neither. I didn't consider this thoroughly.
I don't like to be dominated, so
That's
it wouldn't be
true.
bottom,
Okay.
and you kind of do.
I'm
So
a switch,
What?
so I like
Oh.
both. I like both.
oh yeah, you are a switch.
I will
I
do
think I'm a
whatever, but
Yeah,
I
we
will
took
say
a test. We took a test.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna go. This is good.
I think mine was like furry was the top one. I am, and I'm kidding.
Oh.
No, it was. I forget what it was. We took what was the test called?
It's
Kink test.
BDSM test. It's like a kink test.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Did you put this on your show? Is this like public knowledge?
no, but I'll say it.
Oh no.
Uh,
in your own time.
We did this at an event. I convinced like the entire cast to take the test because I'm a terrible influence. Well, it's because
You started
oh
that?
yeah, 100% stuff.
Oh, I thought Steph
No,
started that.
Steph and I were talking about it, and then those not so kinky people were like, I don't know what mine would be, and I was like, mine's everything. So, and I was like, because most people it's like 100%, and then it's
If
like
you can think it,
70%,
I can do
60%. Mine's like 100, 100, 100, 100, 90, 90, 90, 80, 80, and I'm like, yep, that's most. Yep.
So what is it? So I'm guessing the test is like, how is it like a scale?
Yeah,
Like how do you
it's
get
a
90?
percentage
Like how does
of
it?
how much they
Okay.
think you'd be into it, and then it picks the highest one. My highest one is Brat Tamer, and then I don't remember what after
Is
that.
it Brat Tamer?
Brat Tamer.
Can you elaborate?
Oh, that's my hand. That's my thing too. Book
Yeah.
Brat. So
Yeah, it is, Steven.
maybe
Okay.
you're right.
That was
I
my
don't know.
highest one, and then it
What
was
were you
like
gonna ask Michelle?
We'll find-
You were
and
gonna ask
then-
I was
We'll
gonna
find out
ask
this
her to
weekend, I
elaborate.
guess.
I'm unfamiliar with what a Brat Tamer is.
so-
It sounds pretty like straightforward. Like you're.
you know, it's just bratty personality, and you kind of put them in their place,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And then
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
I think sadist was pretty high, masochist was pretty high, exhibitionist was pretty high, voyeurist was pretty high. It was my thing
We're just hitting
because
everything.
my problem is I'm into most things. Also, rope bunny was another one,
Right,
but I don't know how to
right.
do that, so I got to work on it.
Rope Bunny.
You tie people up, but shibari's a
Always trying to
thing.
learn new things.
Why is it bunny?
I don't know. I think that means you're like the one getting tied up versus
Oh.
the.
I took a screenshot
I have it. I
of
don't know. Where,
mine. 93% me switch.
oh, Little Miss. I don't like to be dommed. Okay.
A 76 dom, 70 sadist, 67 voyeur, 65 rigor. I don't know what
So
that
you're
means.
the one tying.
And then it goes to the 50s. So
Yeah, I'm trying to find mine.
Learning new things. I'm learning new things.
I'm
Okay.
0% exhibitionist and 0% prey. 0% prey.
Where the fuck? Oh, here it is. Okay.
Why are we
So
talking
only
about this again?
only an alpha.
Mine's
Steven.
100% Brad Tamer, 100% rigor, 100%
Man
sadist,
stuff.
100% switch, 100% degrader, 100% dominus, 93.
That's
yeah,
you?
A 93% experimentalist, 90% masochist, 75% brat, 72% rope bunny.
So you don't know what you are.
I
is what you're
like
saying.
everything. I just am
You're
down for
all the
everything.
things.
I'm just all the things. But the thing is, my type of lady are usually submissive, so I just do that.
I'm 52% brat tamer.
52. So I'm just having
Well.
issues. They're like, we're cutting all of this out.
Learn some new stuff today.
That's
Yes, we
that's
did.
just for the vault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty open about it. Plus, I tried to share it.
Yeah, paid subscribers can listen to that piece. Just kidding. I don't have any paid subscribers.
Well,
It's a joke.
You will now.
it's
Now we
just
will.
that one clip. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So but I feel like especially dark romance, it's usually pretty kinky stuff. So.
You never answered the dude question.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
it's the
didn't.
same as you. That's the problem.
FMK.
I wasn't that excited. It was the same as you. So
okay.
I would.
You're marrying Rowan. Okay.
Yes.
He'd be more fun, I think. Lachlan, you still got to clear your demons up before I can.
Honestly,
get
I
in
keep a lot to
relationship
deal
you.
with every day.
Yeah.
Also,
of
Rowan can
growing.
cook,
Oh,
and that sounds awesome.
You're mad again? Why are you mad today?
Although
Pick up. Yeah.
he does have a cool car, so
Lock.
Wow.
Is it a Cybertruck? We know
No,
how much
Lachlan
you like
drives a classic
Cybertrucks,
Camaro.
Squamer.
okay, I'm the
Yeah.
only one that paid attention to that part. All right, well, it's fine.
Yeah,
I
because
knew
you're
it
a car
was
guy. And I was
sports
kidding.
car.
Yeah.
So are you excited for tourist season? And what's coming up next with Brynne Weaver?
Seasons of Carnage.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because I've already read half of the first book because I have an art copy.
Okay, way to
And
flex,
it's a good
Steven.
one.
Way to flex on all of us. Thank you.
I have.
Hey, Steven, do you have an art copy? I don't know.
Hey, I have an art copy of the first book. I just wanted to flex that real quick.
Dude.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I like it. Same style. Same good old Brynne.
I'm excited.
I think y'all are gonna like
I think
it.
she's such a niche author, but I think she's very like her
Yeah.
own brand of author that like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you go away from it and it's like okay, I really want to go back to it because there's nothing really. I think Lights Out is
There's
probably
nothing like her.
yeah. I think Lights Out's the
Yeah.
closest and it's like it's a funny dark romance, but like the way it's written is not the same. It's just it's
Yeah.
much more light.
Brynne's a really good writer.
Brynne is a very good writer, and she takes very good, and she does a very good balance of very funny, dark, and then like deep randomly.
Yeah.
Like sometimes she'll say something, you're like, well,
Yeah.
okay, my emotions are a little hurt right now.
She kind of cuts to some philosophy of things and psychology, and it's good.
Yeah,
good time.
and I'm excited for Samantha Brentmore to do the voice for it because I really like her voice.
Yeah.
I don't know do we know who the man is yet?
The lead? No, it's
forget.
not released yet. Not that I know of. What I was going to say too is, and on that note of like her bringing in random stuff and making it really work is Michelle and I talked about this quite a bit when we were going through our review, but like she brings in these elderly characters very well and ties them into the fold and makes them funny as shit. Like Aunt Ethel, for example, with Lark, or with Scythe and Sparrow, she brings in the Suture
Yeah.
sister. And like they're these little old ladies who are like
The
trying to
horny
help
old
Rose make a
ladies?
sex swings. Yeah, like they're the little old
Well,
ladies.
yeah, but
but
they
they
were-
are also.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
I
they
think both
were.
of them were horny. Isn't the like one that was like, oh, I was supposed to go home with whatever his name is, and I heard he ate her ass like something. Wasn't that-
Ethel. Yeah.
That's Aunt
Yeah.
Ethel.
That-
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, she had an issue. 60 years, didn't get it. So,
Nope.
she
No one
had
ate
some-
her ass. It's a real bummer.
She had to die like that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not particularly where I was going with that, but sure. I was.
She's so I was
was-
trying to be really deep. and-
respect your
and
elders.
She's trying to analyze it in like
eat
a
an
deep
ass.
way, and I was like, the horny old
Yeah.
ladies. Yeah, I like them too.
The only part
Yeah,
that
this is-
Squamer took out of it was that. Nothing else. Like, okay.
Well, we know where your mind's at. This,
not
this is
where
not a
I was
spoiler,
headed.
but for tourist season, there's another older person.
she old and
that's-
horny?
that's similar. It's not a she,
Oh.
Funny.
but
Injects humor.
yeah.
Okay,
it's another
good.
cool
Is there
character.
I think that
food-related
that's kind of
things?
something she continues to do. So I've been liking that.
Probably.
Yeah. Are there food related things? Is she messing
I
with
think
some food?
she has the same trigger warning style intro. So
Okay.
that's a good time. And I think she mentions food, but I haven't got to that part yet.
Okay. Yeah. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
She
We're
did.
just curious.
We did ask her if she like how she comes up with the food thing, and she was like, I don't know. It just comes to me. And I was like, you don't go to grocery stores, and
Yeah.
they're like, I'm gonna ruin that for people. I'm gonna ruin that. She's like,
Yeah.
nope. And then she was telling us that like I was like, do you have like a group chat that's like, Brynne, that's too much? She's like, no, opposite. They're always like, not enough. Got to go further. And I was like, worse than you? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh dang.
I bet she would be down for y'all to be on y'all's podcast too. Have y'all interviewed her?
We have not. Yeah. We'd love to have her on for sure. Absolutely. We'd be thrilled to have
I
her.
bet she would do it.
Yeah. We'd love to have her.
She's a fun time. She's very approachable, and she makes fun of me and Steven all the time. So
I think that would work
Yeah.
out really well then.
I
I
know.
think
Yeah.
having her on would be a good fit.
you know what? She's gonna come on and be like,
Yeah.
those two? Oh my god! And then you're gonna be like, yeah.
Can't get rid of them.
We keep having them on. I don't know why. It's something.
Well, I think we've wrapped our questions and segued a whole bunch. So always a pleasure, gentlemen, to have you on the show. We're make sure everyone to tune into the Smash podcast, which is their podcast now. Because last time you guys were on, it was like right before you were going to launch your podcast officially. So you hadn't even had your first episode yet. So we were kind of like, I think, Squamer, we were your first ever podcast ever, I believe. And so then now you have your own and you guys are out there now. So make sure everybody goes and listens and follows the Smash podcast. Go check that out. And thank you, Steven and Squamer, both of you, for being here with us today. It was something, as always.
It was enlightening. Learned some new stuff today.
Always a pleasure to come and be unhinged as expected.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Love it.
All right. Thank you, Steven, and thank you to Squamer for joining us again. We love having you here. You guys are always a riot.
Always a fun time.
Yes. And of course, I'm sure we'll have them back again. So it was a really good time having both of you on, and we enjoyed it so much. So thank you for always be willing to hop on with us, especially you, Steven. You've been with us from the start, and so we really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We truly enjoyed our conversation, and we always have fun with you guys. So that's a no-brainer here. So, well, now it's time for mystery Q&A. These questions have not been shared with either of us prior to asking.
All right. Do you think that your parents modeled healthy communication skills? And follow-up question to that is, how, if yes or no, how have you tried to learn in adulthood?
Let's just go into childhood trauma with this first one. All right.
I mean, we're reading, you know what I mean? We're reading these books.
I would say absolutely not. My household was a non-confrontational household. Like if you have an issue with someone, you don't say anything about it. You just kind of harbor it and then just kind of like blow up on someone. Yep.
Oh.
It was not healthy growing up.
No.
At all. As a child, I didn't know how to properly handle conflict at all. Conflict you don't address conflict. And, the conflict that I did see addressed was not the healthiest way to handle it. I will say it at that. So growing up was very difficult, especially in terms of like relationships, that trying to navigate, like, how do you communicate with someone? And, to like my fault in like a lot of my relationships, if I had like an issue with something, I wouldn't say anything about it until like it literally, I couldn't like not say something about it. And then I would like just explode. So I obviously had to work through that with therapy. And, it was unfair to whoever I was dating at the time. It was unfair to my husband. But I've worked a lot on that. And then it's kind of like teetering the balance of like, is this worth commenting on now? Is this worth a conflict now? Or is this figuring out like the balance of, do I confront you on every little thing that bothers me? Or do I, pick my battles and, that sort of thing.
To learn too. Like that takes a while.
Right. It was difficult. And I would say like the time that I went through therapy with communication and like anxiety and a lot of different things was after my daughter's, so I think she was 1.5, maybe 2. I don't even think she was 2 yet when I first started going to therapy, because I was noticing a lot of my tendencies was like impacting my parenting. I was like, I don't want to be the parents I had, you know? So trying to break that cycle.
Generational cycles,
Yep. So that's when I started going to therapy and realizing like, oh, my communication skills suck and here's why. Basically, my childhood was trash and here's all the way that you're trash because your childhood's trash and now let's fix it. But we can't really fix you. We can just give you coping mechanisms and try to fix you and just, have things. And like one thing that was just like a big one for me was like apologizing. My parents never apologized for shit. They still don't. I mean, me and my father have kind of mended our relationship, and he does sometimes apologize for things that happened when I was growing up. But, that's just something that generation didn't do. You don't apologize to your kid. They're your kid. They should take whatever you give them.
Basically,
so like that's a big thing that I do.
Yeah.
Right. That's a big thing I do with my daughter. Like I make sure like, oh, you know what? Like I just fucked up. Like, I'm sorry. Like I shouldn't have talked to you like that, or I shouldn't have said this, or, it's just the little things too that I know will go a long way later on. So what about you?
We've kind of talked about my mom a little bit. My mom has been absent from my life for a long time, and that has to deal with her substance abuse issues. And just growing up with that as a girl in a daughter with a single dad, there were a lot of things that we butted heads on. And while he was doing his best, I think that both of my parents were super young when they had me, and this was the 80s, and like the idea of you went to a quote shrink if there was like really something wrong. You didn't go just to go. It wasn't today where mental health is, even postpartum mental health, things like that. You didn't really do any of that. And this is not a get out of jail free card. I'm not suggesting that this is just they get to go free from that, but I found out that my people pleasing and how I kind of will make myself smaller to accommodate safety had to do with while I'm in therapy. This is something I've figured out about myself. And it's taken a lot of time for me to advocate for myself and stand up for myself. I have no problem if it's like very cut and dry, like a black and white situation where there's no there, especially if it's a stranger or something like that. I can handle that fairly well. But when it's my family, I will forgive things that really probably shouldn't be forgiven and won't address them. And that's something I've had to work on, where sometimes you need to advocate for yourself because otherwise the other person won't know. And you need to stand up for yourself, and you can't just try to skate around an issue, because I did that a lot growing up. And I realized that not only did it not help the situation, but it was traumatic for me as an adult and led to relationships that, initially in my early 20s, could have definitely been better. There's no doubt about that. I think that my years of therapy have been a tremendous add to what's gone on. I've gone to grief counseling. I've gone to Al-Anon counseling, which is, if you're unfamiliar with Al-Anon, Al-Anon is for family members of the addicted, basically, is what they do. And you go to these group meetings and you listen to people talk about how their spouse or their parent or their brother or sister, whomever, their friend, is struggling with addiction and refuses to get help, and how it feels to cope with that when the other person won't do it. And it's really interesting because those stories are pretty powerful, and you get to experience that awareness that you're not alone, and that many, many people are figuring out how to navigate their lives without guilt, because that's part of it. Is like there's a big guilty feeling of like, have I done everything to help my mom? And that's not really fair, because I'm not the parent.
Right.
What has she done to help me or my brother? And she's walked out of both of our lives by choice many times.
Mhm.
And so it's like dealing with that and grappling with that and understanding that that's truly traumatic. And now, as a mother myself, the idea or thought that I'd ever leave my son is absolutely like so foreign.
Horrific.
Like I can't wrap my mind around just being like, oh, well, he'll be okay. Like if I see him here and there, I'm going to go do me. Like I'm going to go do, like
I
just
can't comprehend that.
no, I can't. And then actually, same kind of with you. Like after my son was born, I really, really struggled with that so much more. I would have moments in postpartum that were really, really challenging. And I would go to a therapy a lot more to talk through some of these things, because I was very much struggling with how could she do this and stuff like that. So anyway, therapy is great and everyone should go.
Moral
Very
of the
dark
story.
mystery Q&A, but I thought it would be relevant to the fact that our characters in these books are very, very dynamic individuals that have deep parts of their lives that have created who they are. And even though they identify and say that they're monsters and this type of thing, Brynne Weaver writes these characters in a way that is humanizing to a certain point. Of course, there's massive triggers. We're not condoning any of this. We're not saying any of that. But you cannot deny that Lark, Lachlan, Rowan, Sloane, Rose, and Fionn, all of them had traumatic childhoods, had really traumatic things that happened to them. And the way that Brynne weaves that in with humor and darkness and, the whole thing of what goes on is really intentional. And I think that it's important to note that I just thought that the question was kind of relevant to these books. So I thought, why not? If there was a time to ask it, this is probably it. So let's do it.
All right. Yeah, I would agree that it's very fitting for these characters in this storyline. Okay, so my question would be to you. because you kind of asked this question before in a text, and neither of us had an answer for it. I thought it was really funny. So
Oh no.
a few weeks later, I'm going to see if we have different answers. So you had asked me in a text, what do you do to relax?
Oh.
I was like, what is that? So now I'm going to ask you, in the last few weeks, if anything has changed, what do you do to relax? If you do relax.
That is also something I've talked about in therapy. Because as a people pleaser, that's also part of the problem is I'm chronically like, I could do more. I could do more. I could do more. I could be more driven. I'm this sitting here watching this show or sitting here, like, what else could I also be doing? I could be checking an email or I could be, figuring out my meal prep for the next day. I can't just like vegetate and like what. So it's funny that you asked this question. After we had this text, I literally I talked to my husband about this because we both kind of have this issue. And I said to him, I was like, when have we ever just like had an all day movie marathon? Because I've seen like there's different reels now for like, especially during fall. There's a lot of like Halloween style or just like fall movie marathons to like get you into the season. Like somebody did a loader one, Lord of the Rings, and they had like different food for every hour that you would shift to. And like you prepped the day before and you get everything ready and like you have a different meal. And so I just asked him that one day and he literally just looked at me and he was like, we've never done that. And for context, like we'll be celebrating our 9th wedding anniversary. We've been together a very long time. And then before that, we dated for like 4 years. So never is the answer for that. Like I can't just like sit and do that. Yeah. I need to like learn. I have a very hard time. I mean, look at us now. We both work full time. We're doing a podcast. We're literally filming our podcast right now. We go the extra mile. We get interviews. We do all this extra stuff. We're trying to launch this thing from scratch. And like, that's my relaxation. Like I enjoy this, but I enjoy working. That's probably part of the problem is I actually like to work. I do like that, but this is also how you burn out. I don't know if you know, Michelle.
No, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. And then I'm a mom, of course. And obviously like, I'm a wife and a daughter and all the things. And so it's like, when we talked about this, you and I, like, I think can relate very well to this because I think we have like the same problem. And that's where relaxation is a challenge. It's a challenge.
Yes.
Which is why I said like we should do some kind of just you and I book retreat, maybe when Brimstone releases, we go do something. And I don't know that I could do that without my family and feel relaxed. I'm not sure I could,
right? Which
is a really weird thing to think, but I think I would struggle with that because I also enjoy time with my family so much that I just don't know if that would be enjoyable for me. And maybe that goes back to my childhood. Maybe it goes back to who knows what that all goes to. But I know that other people are very okay with that, with like leaving. And again, there's nothing, zero judgment. It's just for me, I don't enjoy that personally. So it's like, how do I don't know. What's your answer? I really struggle with this question, clearly. I don't even know that I answered it.
No, I struggle with this too because for the same reasons, I can't just sit. If I do feel like I'm sitting, I feel like this overwhelming guilt of it. And that does stem from my childhood. I was told, like, if I was sitting down, like, I was, like, berated for it. It's like, you could be cleaning, you could be doing something. So obviously
why aren't you taking initiative?
Into, like, my 30s, and it's like, oh, great, thanks. Now I can't relax at all. And this is great. So I try not to like get on my kid if she's just sitting there. Like if she's tired after like a long day and she's like, I just want to sit and watch something. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Just do it. I struggle with you sitting there because I'm like, oh my gosh, my kid's brain rotting. But like, you know what? I don't need to put my anxiety on you. Honestly, at this point in time, you just do you. It's fine. My husband doesn't struggle with this, which is really funny because he can't like if there's literally like if it's like a day off, if it's a long weekend, we don't have our kid at home, he will sit there and play video games and he has no remorse. And I love that for him. I'm like, what is it like to not have anxiety? And he's like, I don't know. I just don't. I don't think about it. Like just do something. Just sit there. Just play your game and not think about it. I'm like, I don't know if I can. So like the small times where I do get like to relax, like I literally have to be taking a bath where I can't bring anything in there with me. I have to like sit there. And then I can't do it for very long. I get antsy if I like set myself up.
I'm a shower person.
For too long.
I can't.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I like showers, but if I'm like I know when like my brain has had enough is like I will wake up at like 1:30 or 2 o'clock every morning and not be able to go back to sleep for hours. I'm
Oh
like, okay, my
yeah.
brain is
I
telling me
get a
I
chronic
have
eye
enough.
twitch when
Yeah.
I'm like really stressed out. Yeah, I will legitimately have a twitchy. One of the lids of my eyes will just be like twitching. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
it might
Danny,
get like that too.
okay, get a grip on yourself. This is
Yep.
unhealthy.
You need
But I
to
think
do
that's why I like
something.
cruising.
Yeah.
I will say that. I think that's why I like
Mhm.
cruising, and I think that's why we've made
It's
it
a
like an
forceful
annual
unplug.
trip. It's
Yeah.
required. You unplug, you get to chill out. We at least go on a cruise once a year. We're very privileged to be able to do that, and that's what I love about cruising in general as a vacation is that you can pay for the Wi-Fi and all that if you really want to be plugged in and all
Nope.
that. But the intent of going out
Yeah.
on the cruise is to the whole thing. And my husband's really like, he's a big stickler about this, and he tells me before we go, he's like, we will not plan, and by we he means me, we will not plan out this whole trip. That's
I can
great
hear
that
him
there's
saying that.
15 things going on the boat. There's a scavenger hunt. There's all these shows. He's like, that is great. I don't want to do anything. I would like to do nothing. Give
Yeah.
me at least one day where we do absolutely nothing. If you want to see like something here or there, fine. But please, like, please don't plan out the whole thing, because I'm the planner, obviously. And I'm like, okay. And I struggle, but I enjoy it at
Yeah.
the time. Once I'm there and I'm finally
Right.
there, I got my towel, I got all my stuff, I got my book, and I could just like sit there and rot and read my book and, you know, whatever. That's actually really nice. I do enjoy it once I
Yeah.
finally, but I think there's a guilt associated with it for me of like relaxation. There's absolutely like a
Yeah.
childhood guilt of you're not doing everything you could be doing and you're wasting time. This relaxation is a waste of time, which couldn't be further from the truth because your body needs that
Nope.
just in the same way it needs
Literally
everything
needs
else.
it.
Yes, like to live. It's also proven that if your stress is too high for too long of a period and you don't relax and you don't take time, like you're quite literally shortening your lifespan. This is like known.
Yes. Yes.
So, in other words, everyone
gotta get
should
better
be
at that.
relaxing. Yes.
Yeah. And
Try
we
to
gotta get
relax.
better at
Do
that.
not be like
just
us.
once a year.
Yeah.
No. All right. Before we wrap up, let's talk about what's coming up next on Book Club After Dark.
Yeah. Next week, we're diving into Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. So this is, of course, part of the Crowns of Nyaxia series. This is a standalone, but it's going to lead us into our latest book, Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk, which is going to be Misha's story picked up with Asar. We're going to see what's going on with them. And Carissa also dropped information about the last two books for
yeah.
House of Blood, which I'm really excited about. We'll talk about more all
You
that.
even get
I'm
a
very
peek at a
excited.
title.
Yes, I'm very excited to get back all into that whole world. One other thing I did want to mention is that we know Brimstone's coming out, and obviously I have Quicksilver right here behind me. But I got our new Quicksilvers, and I haven't got to see you to give you yours,
Ooh.
but here's our new Quicksilver. And it actually, I think it looks so much better in person than the way
Yeah, it
that
looks
everybody
very
was losing
metallic.
their minds. Yeah, but it like drips. There's like a
looks
drip of
Quicksilvery,
Quicksilver
yeah.
on the top, and then the sides are really pretty, and then
Silver.
you have the beautiful artwork on the inside. Oh, we got a new map, Michelle. We got a new map. I'm really
here for a
excited
map.
about the new map. Yes. We got a beautiful new map. So Brimstone, of course, we'll be covering that later this year. And end of the November, it'll come out. So probably in December, we'll start our coverage of Brimstone. So we've got lots and lots of stuff going on. Yeah, hit the subscribe button to hear more of our exciting book talk. And we're looking forward to dissecting this next novel with you.
And don't forget, we want to hear from you. If you have thoughts on Scythe and Sparrow or suggestions for future reads, drop a comment below or message us on one of our social media platforms at Book Club After Dark Pod. Show us your fan art theories or anything bookish you'd like to share.
You can also visit our website, bookclubafterdark.co, to stay up to date on our cozy content and check out our merch.
That's all for tonight. Sleep tight, night owls. Until next time, happy reading.